The Horrible Gamers podcast may contain content not suitable for all ages. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Horrible Gamers Podcast, show number 289, being recorded on January the 5th, 2020. New Year, new Jesus. Woo! Welcome. And today I'm joined by my friend from the West Coast, the best coast, Gunny Chief, Henley Merrill. Welcome back, Gunny.
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. And a whole new Gunny.
Yeah, whole new year, new Gunny.
That's me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this.
From Little Big Ohio, The Mayo.
Hey, Happy New Year's, guys.
Happy New Year.
And this could be the same old Mayo. I'm not changing anything
What?
this year.
Plain Mayo.
New Year, same Mayo?
No resolutions.
No resolutions here.
Big Mayo resolutions? Okay. Anyways, people. Happy New Year to you, and thank you for joining us in this first episode of Horrible Gamers in 2020. If you want to, ladies and gentlemen, but you haven't done so, you can head on over to Twitter and follow us _ Horrible Gamers. Also, leave us a review on iTunes, leave us a review on Google Podcasts, leave us a review on anything you're listening to us on, specifically iTunes. So if you're listening to us on your Apple devices, leave us reviews on there. Please leave us reviews on there. We need them to get us bumped up in the rankings and all that good shit. Also, Horrible Gamers Podcast is our page on Facebook. You can go and like that. And in that page, you can leave a review as well and join our closed group, Horrible Gamers Podcast community. That's right. It's a closed group, so that means anything we post in the group is not seen by people that are part of your like normal Facebook, I guess. The lame Facebook. And you can support the show by heading on over to Patreon at patreon.com/Horrible Gamers. Once you join there, like our friend Adam Sunday, Alan Maybe H, Bill Garner II, Brandon Willier, Brian Capessa, Chad, Commandalorian, David Snyder, Evan Tanaka, Henley M, Jesse Kraft, John Jerome, Jonathan D. Hall, M. Polo, Mechmod, Nipron, Pork Chop Poo, Robbie Wheat, The Mayo, Saber, and Vaderholic. You can support us. Anything as little as $2 a month helps us greatly and gets you a shout out on the show just like these people. I thank you guys so much for supporting us last year through our Patreon. You guys don't know how much you mean to me. You mean the world to me. Thank you. You kept yes, food in my mouth some of those months because I was
on
dead
the
broke.
table.
Spend all my money on video games. Got enough money from the Patreon to buy some cup of noodles. Woo! Cup of noodles!
There's beef jerky.
Anyways, you can also support the show and buy some gear by heading on over to Redbubble. At Redbubble, you can just type in the search bar Horrible Gamers. Once you type that in, you'll see a dude wearing our shirt with our logo on it. That's right, same logo you see there on your podcast player. Once you click on that dude with the shirt, you're going to be able to find more items, up to 70 plus items available for purchase on the store. Going to anything from a block to a sock and a dock.
No rocks.
No rocks. You can buy all that.
I need smocks. Do they still make smocks?
Can I get the shower curtain, Jesus?
Yeah, the shower curtain is still available for purchase. Someone buy the shower curtain, please. I want to see it. Yeah, but
we want to see it in action. I mean, just see you buy.
Whoa.
Put it in the cart. That's what we meant.
Do not do that, people. Do not send us that email. Anyways, head on over to Redbubble. Get yourself some gear, some HGP gear. And lastly, you can head on over to Stitcher and sign up for Stitcher Premium. During sign up, for only $4.99 a month or $34.99 a year, you get access to ad-free listening, as well as Stitcher Premium shows that are exclusive to Stitcher Premium, such as Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, My Favorite Murder, Wolverine the Lost Trail, which is a great fucking podcast. That shit was amazing. I know you guys have listened to it, Gunny, but I've listened to it, and woo, shit was lit. But yeah, anyways,
It's on my list.
when
I
you're
haven't listened
signing
to it yet.
up for Stitcher Premium over at Stitcher.com/premium, you use promo code Horrible Gamers and you get 1 month for free. That's right, on your monthly plan. So you head on over to Stitcher.com/premium, sign up, promo code Horrible Gamers, you get a month for free, and that's whether you're signing up for the year or for a month subscription, month to month. You get yourself a free month. So get on over there. Get yourself a free month. Start your year off right, Gunny, with a free month of Stitcher
On the right
Premium.
foot.
That's right. Yeah. Stitcher also has some pretty cool features on the app. They track like how long you're listening to a podcast, how many times you pause it, how many times you play it, how often you listen to it, what days of the week you listen to it. They track all that shit, dude. It's kind of wild.
I like things like that because I even like use other apps, and I do like the fact that you can even share your progress
you
via
can.
social media. That is a cool feature.
Tie that shit to Twitter and all that good shit and just share it. I mean, I really like that. It's kind of like, it reminds me of Spotify where you can listen to the show as well. But it reminds me of Spotify where, like, at the end of the year, they give you like a stat, like, this is how many songs you played this year. And this is how many, like, this is your favorite song this year. You played the Macarena 150,000 times, Gunny. What were you doing?
I was doing the Macarena. Hey. Yeah, I use Audible, and one of the features I like on that one is, for example, I'm listening to a book and I'm 51% complete or through that book. Mm-hmm. So I just tweeted that at the actual author and person who reads the book. So I got a nice response from him as well.
Nice. So yeah, people, head on over, sign up for Stitcher at Stitcher.com/premium. Promo code Horrible Gamers. And finally, I want to give a shout out to our music people over at Fowler and Twistix for letting us use their intro song, or a remix of their song Breakout for our intro. And Broke for free for letting us use their song Night Owl as the outro of this podcast. Thank you guys for letting us use your music. We appreciate it. I really like Broke for Free Night Owl. Like,
me too.
Like, I listen to that shit, like without listening to the show. Like, sometimes I'll listen to the podcast back to, just listening to it, and then I get to the end, and then I rewind it to like restart the end song. I just rewind that shit to like, all right, I listen to the song one more time. And
it never gets old. I end up turning it up. Turn up that volume.
It's a good fucking song. Anyways, people. Let's talk about video games.
Games, baby.
Yeah.
Sorry, my voice, guys. I do have a bit of a cold, so I apologize in advance.
Sorry about last week. I wasn't on last week. Just a lot of shit going on. It was a rough week for us over at HGP.
It was really rough.
Yeah, it was a big week.
There was a lot of things going on, and we just couldn't make it. I totally had plans to make it last Saturday, dude, and then just things went to shit that morning. My brother got in a car accident. He's okay, but it was just really crazy. It was a crazy day for me, and now I had a huge headache. My head hurted, and then Gunny had some things going on in his life, and
I had a death in the family, so it was just a total.
It was just rough, dude. And then on top of that, I found out one of my old coworkers passed away on Friday last week, and I was just devastated. I was like, holy fuck, dude. What else could happen this weekend? Shit. It was a rough start, man. But anyways, good. We're glad to be back, and everything's good. Don't worry, people. Everything's fine. Let's talk about video games now.
Yeah, good stuff.
Did I tell you guys that I beat Death Stranding? Did I talk about that on the last show?
You were talking about being really close to the end. You was talking about a bunch of cutscenes.
Oh, okay.
And
I
you
was
thought
talking
you were
about the
really
things.
close.
Okay.
But you weren't officially there yet. You were
so
really close.
I was really close. But I finally did beat the game. No spoilers for people listening. I'm not going to spoil anything. But the game, like the very end, it explains everything that happens in the game, but it doesn't do a good job of it. You know what I mean? I feel like it doesn't do a good enough job. Like it would have been better had they just explained it to the story, to the actually playing through it. Having somebody sit there and talk to you for an hour, for an hour in one area, And you can't leave this area in the game. You just sitting there, waiting for this person to talk. And like every so often, you have to stand up and walk around and like trigger the next piece of dialogue. It's not like you're just sitting there and you can just let the controller down. No, the person will like tell you like 2 sentences, and they'll disappear. And you're like, what the fuck do I do? Can I leave now? You stand up.
Man.
You stand up and you have to walk around for a bit, and then like somehow you have to hit the right spot of the map or wherever like little area you're in, and then all of a sudden the next piece of dialogue will trigger, and then you gotta sit there for another 5-10 seconds. Your guy will sit down and sit there for another like minute, listening to dialogue, and then stand up and walk around for 10 seconds and find the right spot to sit down at again, and then you do that for an hour. I'm not fucking kidding.
Oh my gosh,
you
that's
do
painful.
That for an hour. By the time I was done with it, I did not give a fuck about the story. I was like, fuck this shit. Fuck this story. Fuck this bullshit. I was pissed.
Kojima wanted to make sure you were paying attention.
I mean, it does explain
to...
everything, though. It explains everything, guys, about the Death Stranding. Everything's explained to you. I will not spoil any of that. I kind of spoiled some of the gameplay for you at the end there with the walking around. But, I mean, just be ready for that. Just so you know, don't think that the game is over. Also, the credits run twice. So there's a point in the game where the credits run, and you're like, oh, the game is done. Hell yeah. And then, no, the game's not done. The game's like, hey, motherfucker, you still got like an hour left of dialogue to sit through. And then the game finally takes you to a certain spot in the game, and you have to do some final deliveries or whatever. You have to deliver some packages at the end, and it gets pretty wild. And then the very last delivery happens, and then the game's over. And it was a really cool ending at the end. And it actually is one of my favorite games of the year. I don't know if it's my game of the year, but it is one of my favorite games of the year. It's very memorable. Like I had a lot of moments in the game where I'm just like, no, that was actually pretty cool that I experienced that, like. But is it a game for everybody? Fuck no.
No, it doesn't sound like it, especially when I think back. Let's just go back over this generation with like again, this is Kojima being Japanese, and I'm thinking like Final Fantasy. And when you think back to like, I've never played any of those personally, Final Fantasy 13, 14, all those, but it just reminds me of Death Stranding, where people say, oh, you got to play at least 5 hours into it before it actually gets any good. So it's not like a new thing,
Yeah.
Maybe new for people that are younger in this generation.
Yeah.
But and then obviously being cutscenes being 40 minutes in length or what have you. So I'm still interested in playing this game. I just I still want to get it. Probably
when was I streaming it when you saw my zip lines, Gunny? Was it you who came into the stream?
What I did? Okay, so check us out. I am interested in this game, Jesus. So what I did was, I just turned. I'm sorry, Jesus. I got to admit this. I turned my iPad around because I'm like, no, I don't want any spoilers. No, I listened to it. I can hear you talking.
Oh shit! I know it was. I think it was Pork
in.
Chop Poo or somebody who joined my stream, and they dropped embers, but at the same time they were like, "Holy shit, you got zip lines everywhere!" They saw like all the fucking elaborate ass fucking zipline network that I built in the mountains, and I had zip lines everywhere in that motherfucker. I made sure I could get anywhere in that map, in the mountain area. I could get anywhere, like quick, without ever touching the ground. And I wanted it that way because I got tired of the BTs fucking with me, man. Gets to a certain point where you just don't want to fight the BTs anymore. You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, like, I'm tired of fighting you guys. I really am just tired of you. Just leave me the fuck alone. Just, I'm not messing with you. Why you gotta mess with me for? You know what I mean?
They
it's
just
like,
never
fuck.
stop. Right?
They just don't stop. Yeah, and it's just kind of annoying at a certain point. And I think I kind of reached a point in the game where it happened to me with another game. What other game was it?
Can you evade the BTs like like you said, you're just sick and tired of fighting them all the time? Can you kind of run past them? You have to face them.
You can, but there is moments in the game where you won't have to fight them. You will have kind of at the end of the game you have to fight them. It's kind of like the thing. You have to fight the BTs.
To escape, right? You have to face them.
Yeah.
You have to fight them.
Yeah, you have to defeat them or whatever. There's points in the game where you have to fight them. Like I couldn't think of like maybe 5 times in the game where you have to fight BTs. You have to. There's no getting around that. Like even if you try to get around it, that it'll trigger somehow, somewhere, like the game's just programmed to do that. Like you
Yeah.
have to fight BTs. Because there's certain upgrades you get in the game that you have to use them against BTs to test them or whatever. Like they'll give you like a new weapon and they'll be like, we want you to test this weapon. Go test it on the BT. And you got no choice but to go and fucking trigger a BT somewhere, you know what I mean? Because you have to go and test this weapon or whatever the fuck.
Do you die a lot in this game? Is there a lot of like
not
respawning?
really. No,
How does that
and
work?
and it's not a punishing game. Once you die, like you just respawn. You're a repatriate. You can come back to life, so you just come back to life. There's no penalty for dying.
Okay, I wasn't sure of like, do you lose a lot of progress? Like, how does that work?
No, you just respawn, and then you'll be kind of in the same area. You have to pick up all your gear again, and that's really it. The baby might be like dead. I mean, he's not dead, but like he gets to a point where like he kind of shuts off and he passes out. So once he gets to that point, he doesn't work anymore. Like he doesn't alert you of BTs in the area. Like you still get notified there's a BT in your area because the screen does like this slow motion thing where like you'll be walking normal and all of a sudden the thing will like everything goes kind of slow motion and like your whole character, everything goes into slow motion. And that's when the little antenna thing pops up. But if the BB is dead or whatever, or if he's asleep or whatever the fuck he does, I think it's called anemia or something like that, where he fucking like passes out or something because he uses too much energy. So if he does that, like all that happens is that thing doesn't pop up, but you still get like, you can still like kind of notice that like the BTs are in the area because there'll be lots of rain usually, and like sometimes they kind of pop up and you can kind of see them. Because Sam has Dooms, and Dooms will let you see the BTs, and he has that. So he can sense them by himself without the BB, but the BB is like a big help to avoid them, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And Mayo's like, what the fuck is Jesus talking about?
Yeah.
Now, I know what you're talking about from gameplay that I've seen.
Yeah, no.
Bits and pieces that I've, intentionally just watched bits and pieces. 'Cause
Yes.
I don't want to spoil too much for myself.
The ending was cool, though, and I'm glad I beat it. I'm glad it's over with. It was a very long game. At the end of the day, I think I put 59 hours into it, 60 hours into it. Like, because at the end it tells you all the stats of, like, how many packages, how many tons, or how much weight of packages you delivered. I think I delivered 31 tons.
Wow, so that's like $1 an hour, man. You got your money's worth.
31 tons
50.
of packages. I think all in total I did 170 deliveries or something like that with...
Should be working for UPS.
what was it? Like 40 of those deliveries were like robot deliveries, like automated. So like I sent out little robots to deliver shit for me, and then the rest were by me. And then I did you did. I think it was like 10 special deliveries, like super like delicate deliveries, like delivering like shit that's like you can't drop, like a bomb or a pizza or whatever. I think I did 10 of those. And I had a bunch of other stats. They give you like a bunch of stats, like how many miles you travel. I fucking travel like so many fucking thousands of miles.
You know what I think, Jesus? I really think by the end of this year,
Yeah.
sometime, I'm thinking like November, you're gonna be like, guess what, guys? Got a part-time job working for Food Jets, delivering food, KFC, pizzas,
Delivering
burgers,
all
name
the
it.
food all day.
I'm drinking your milkshake on the way to your house.
No, I mean it was interesting, dude. It's cool how it keeps track of all that, and at the end of the game it tells you like, hey, you're like this level of porter or whatever. You did this good.
I
And then-
wonder how
there's-
this game is.
There's a game after the game ends. So like the game ends, and then they do this thing where like the game has a definitive ending, right? But they do the thing where like we're gonna rewind the game back like 2 weeks before the real ending of the game, like before the thing you just played, and you could just continue doing deliveries if you want. Like just there's still BTs, there's still everything. You still have all your shit you unlocked, but just you can finish up like any deliveries you want to finish up.
That's cool that it actually lets you finish it. You're not
Yeah.
worried about.
So
You know,
like
completing
if
something.
you're the type of person that's worried about doing everything before finishing the game, if you want to just experience the ending of the game and you want to kind of skip some of the side missions because there's thousands of them, then just kind of go to the whole main campaign. Just do the main story deliveries, and eventually you get to the end of the game. Trust me, you're still gonna get most of the important upgrades because you get those through the campaign no matter what. But there is side missions that you can do. Like there is side deliveries throughout the campaign that I noticed you can do to get yourself better upgrades faster. So, like, for example, you could do a side mission, get yourself an upgrade for your little pick hook or whatever that does the rope thing. You can get one of those that's upgraded to level 2 and be a level 2 little, like, hook thing or whatever. Like, by doing a side mission. But you're also going to get that level 2 at the end of the game throughout the campaign somewhere. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to give it to you through the campaign at the same time. So it's just depending on how fast you want to get stuff.
Okay. Cool, man. It's like a new game plus almost.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's cool.
I was going to ask you, though, and like that, say 59 hours, now that you played through it, how much of it do you think is cutscene time, and how much of it is actually like gameplay?
So actual cutscene time, I would probably say
60%?
no, less than that.
Less than that?
I would say maybe 10, 15, 20 hours is cutscenes,
Yikes.
and the rest is gameplay, like 45 hours of gameplay, maybe 50 hours of gameplay.
Can you
The
skip it?
cutscenes are long, but there's not a lot of cutscenes in the game. You would think there's a lot of cutscenes in the game, but they're not a lot. There's only like so many cutscenes in the game, but they're long cutscenes. You know what I mean? So there's a big cutscene in the middle of the game that explains what happened to these people in the middle of the game. And then there's no cutscenes. There's like little minor cutscenes every here and so often, but like the big long cutscenes, like the 40-minute long cutscenes or whatever, those are like only like, those happen like maybe 4 times in the whole game. Like I said, it happens at the end twice. It happens in the middle once. I think it happens in the beginning. And that's it.
Okay.
So, yeah. There's not as many cutscenes as you may think, man. There's a lot of them, but
Can you skip them?
no. No. Like that cutscene at the end where you do the walking around and trigger the dialogue, you can't fucking
Oh, right,
do.
because you have to get up, stand
You have to
up,
stand up
over.
and walk around, and then next thing you know, the dude sits down again, and he's sitting there, and he's like, "All right, guys, yeah, listen to the story now about what happened."
Can you pause them? Like, say you were getting ready to walk out the door, and you were just like, I'm going to finish this. And then the game jumps into a cutscene, and you're like, no, I have to leave.
Yeah, you can pause them. You can, yeah.
Can you pause the cutscene? Okay.
Yeah, and the PS4 is really good about, like, it's really good about, you can just, like, legitimately turn off the PS4 into rest mode.
Yeah,
And
I like that.
It has that standby mode. And as soon as you turn it back on, it's just there. Like, the game is there, and it's right where you
I think
left
it works
off.
better than Xbox. in
It
my
does,
opinion.
actually. I think it does, too, Gunny.
Because what happens with this is with, I'm sorry, I'm just going to interject this real quick, especially with my ex. What happens is, if I am playing a game like Metro, or I don't know if it just happens with every game or not, even the Outer Wilds, where I can put it in rest mode and it just eventually crashes.
Yeah, eventually the
Like,
game just
yeah, the
shuts off. Yeah.
Yeah, the PlayStation doesn't do that, so it just goes right where I left off.
Yeah, because there was one of them that I left, like, I think I left it on standby for 5 days, Death Stranding. I just left it there, and I turned it back on, and I'm like, holy shit, I was in this middle of this whole thing. This huge boss fight or whatever. I was in the middle of this when I left last time. I think I just got frustrated with it. I had died a bunch. I just like, turned it off into rest mode, and I'm like, fuck this. And I came back to it, and I was right there. So it's kind of interesting to see that. Anyways, enough Death Stranding talk, people. You probably won't hear me talk about it again until next week when Game of the Year comes out. But besides all that stuff, I played other games this week, Gunny.
Cool. Besides Call of Duty, what else did you play?
My friend Pedro.
Orale!
Woo!
Yahoo!
Yeah, that game
That's a
is
good
fun.
game. I've been playing that off of Mayo's account, but now that it's on the Game Pass, I don't know if I should just restart on there or finish off of Mayo's account.
It's really good. I'm playing on the Game Pass. Real cool music, really cool. Like, it reminds me of John Wick, kind of. It's just stupid gun kills and do the backflip and shoot this guy in the face. Doing all that cool stuff. Fun little game. I like the music. I like the game. It's fun. Is it?
I like the music and the little change on the first boss fight.
Yeah.
The guy with the band. I won't go any more into that, but that little
That's
that
a
little
cool
change,
fight where you're on the motorcycle.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can speed up and like fucking haul ass and slow down or whatever. Yeah. But besides all that good stuff, besides my friend Pedro, I played another game this week. I played Jurassic World Evolution. Now I bought the DLC for the game, that Jurassic Park DLC, $20.
Yes.
It's interesting. So now it starts off. It actually somehow these guys were able to get the actual actors from the movie to do the voices. So they have like the real Dr. Ian Malcolm or whatever. They have the dude. What's the fuck's the dude's name with the glasses? The fuck's his
Malcolm.
name? Huh?
Isn't it? It's not Malcolm?
Well, he's Dr. Ian Malcolm. What's his name? What's the actor's name?
Oh, that I
Jeff
don't know.
Goldblum.
Goldblum, yeah.
Jeff
Yeah. He does
Goldblum.
the voice acting, yeah.
Yeah, they have the white guy. What's the white guy's name? The old white guy with the handkerchief around his neck. In the first movie,
Yeah.
they have him in there. They have the chick, the girl that's with him or whatever. They have her in there. They have the old dude, the old guy who runs Dr. Hammond or whatever, the guy who runs the park. They have him. So they have all those people, like the actual actors doing the voices of the characters. And it starts off like
So
a
is it
movie.
like a new campaign almost with this new DLC? Is that?
It is. It is a new campaign. It's completely separate from the other games. So pretty much what it does is it starts off like the movie, and it starts off after the events of the first movie. So like the first thing of like the first movie just happened, and the whole park went crazy, and they fucking barely escaped from the T-Rex at the end or whatever. But it's them flying back to the island. So it shows them like flying in a little helicopter, through the ocean back towards the island, and they're going back there because they want to fix it or some shit. You know what I mean? Somehow
Right,
the
kind of like
doctor,
the second movie.
kind of like the second
yeah.
movie, like where the Hammond dude, the old fucking guy with the cane or whatever, looking like Mr. He looks like the Colonel Sanders, doesn't he?
Yeah,
KFC
he does.
or something. That guy convinced them to go back to the fucking island to fix the shit, and you pretty much like land there, and then you pretty much have to fix up like the big visiting center. You fix that up, and then they tell you, okay, fix the power, restore the fences, and there's already dinosaurs on the island, so there's already like raptors and shit loose. You have to trap them and put them back in cages, and like put the raptors in the raptor pen, the little raptor pen thing. Put the fences, fix all the fences back up. But now, Gunny, the cool thing about this DLC, I know they've added it to the whole game as a general update as well. So like you don't have to have the DLC to experience this, but the animals get agitated now. So like if your fucking ranger guy goes into a pen to like refill their food or whatever, or like take a picture of him or inject them with medicine, any dinosaur, even like the herbivore ones, even like the big long neck fucking dinosaurs, they'll attack your fucking Jeeps, dude. Like they blew up one of my Jeeps. They killed my team.
Just stomp.
They
What?
fucking
Out
killed
of
them.
existence.
And so like and it's like you lost 30 grand right there because they just
That
fucking
makes
killed
sense.
the guy.
That makes total sense because playing that game,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those like unvideo game moments. Like
Yeah.
when I play that game, when I go, let me just keep ramming into his leg, you know. But now,
Now they take
yeah,
damage. Now you take damage if you crash the
That's
Jeep.
cool.
And pretty much I did the first island and I did the second one. I'm on the second one now. And that was a little bit harder. They have like these more aggressive dinosaurs that are on the loose there. And so they tell you like, okay, you need to capture these aggressive dinosaurs, separate them from the other ones because they're attacking the other ones. And then you have to like, what you're trying to do is you're trying to find a cure because the dinosaurs figured out how to breed, so they're breeding by themselves. And you're trying to give them like this cure so they're not able to breed by themselves because you don't want them breeding. You don't want them to expand their populations by themselves because that way you can't control them, right? You can't, like if they have too many babies and eventually the fucking pen that you have them in is going to be overcrowded with too many dinosaurs and they're going to fucking escape. That's the thought process behind that. So you're trying to figure out this cure to keep them contained and to keep them, low population numbers so it doesn't get crazy and they don't escape again or whatever. But I'm playing through that campaign. It's actually pretty cool, man. They've added new abilities to the like new buildings. So there's new buildings to like the ranger station and like the visitor center. There's new like shops, all that good stuff. It's all new, kind of. You know what I mean? So like they've added like a new skin to the game almost, and they've added like the voice acting. They've added new missions. Yeah.
You know what I haven't checked? I haven't even bothered to check it or not, but I believe I own this on Steam.
Yeah, you probably
And that's
do.
probably, since I'm already invested on that side of it, like if I buy that DLC, I'll buy it on there. But if there's any mods, to change, really like the thing that I would change probably is just the visuals of like the visitor center or like the spectators stadium kind of thing. That,
Yeah, the
we-
visitor center is
stuff like
different,
that.
and you do.
I want to keep that realism.
You get new stuff as well. Like, For example, the look of the vehicles, they look like the old school Jeeps from the movie or whatever. That's what they look like. You know what I mean? They don't look like the newer cars that they look like in the other campaign. You gotta add bathrooms for your guests now. You gotta have emergency shelters. You gotta have all this shit. Um, and yeah, the dinosaurs escape quite a bit, man. Quite often they fucking escape, and it becomes a bitch to deal with them. So, yeah,
Sounds like a nice addition for your $20. You know, like
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
where are you
interesting.
spend $20 for DLC? How much you'll get? And it sounds like you're gonna get quite a bit with it. So it sounds
Oh yeah,
pretty worth.
yeah, you get quite a bit with it. And you get a sandbox mode with it as well, so you fucking play with it in sandbox mode if you just don't want like missions, if you just want to build a park, which I know that's
That's
the
cool.
appeal to some people. You could just do that, you know.
That's awesome because I remember my first kind of playthrough with this game. Like, I didn't put the road in correctly, so I wasn't able to really expand on it without destroying like the ranger station and stuff like that. So I thought, oh man, it was like a sandbox mode. See, that's another cool
Sandbox
benefit. So
mode,
you can
yeah.
kind of know how your next playthrough is going
And
to go.
it's pretty cool because you can build the gates that say Jurassic Park on them and open up, and you can have like the cars that are on rails that go to the park and drive to the park on rails, like in the movie, you know. So yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's fucking legit.
Nice.
But have lots of fun with that DLC. It's and if you haven't picked up the DLC, just pick up the game for free. If you got it on Game Pass last month through Xbox, know that you did get a free update for it. So you got the update where you have to manage the restrooms now for the people, and you still got the aggressive dinosaur pack. Like that's still a thing that just came out for an update. So that pretty much just changes the behavior of the dinosaurs, makes it to where they will attack your ranger teams. They will attack you or your people if they escape. So be prepared for that. And the dinosaurs are very smart now too. They like hunting packs and shit, dude. It's fucking wild. I watched this group of dinosaurs escape from one pen into the other, and they were just fucking these dinosaurs up. I was like, holy shit! I had to send like all my security teams to this one fucking area to fix this fucking problem because it was just chaos over. They were just killing all the dinosaurs. It was like dinosaur dead, dinosaur. And I'm like, where the fuck are these dinosaurs dying? And I had to go like to the management view, and like all these dinosaurs somehow escaped from one pen into the one next to them, and they're just fucking up all these dinosaurs, killing them. And I was like, holy shit, dude. It was those dinosaurs that have like the little the thing that fans out and they spit the fucking venom or whatever. It's those fucking little assholes. Yeah, they're fucking everybody up.
Oh,
yeah.
I know the ones you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ones
So
that
it's
spit
the
in,
little feisty ones.
Yeah.
it's the one that spit in the dude's eye, or the dude that's trying to steal the fucking can of fucking the dinosaur DNA or whatever.
Right, from the
In the
first
movie? Yeah, from the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that
You were
one.
in all the movies, I believe, but that first scene was really good.
Yeah, they were in all the movies, but in that first scene, it was really cool. Anyways, enough dinosaur talk. Besides that, and besides my friend Pedro, besides Death Stranding, I've also went ahead and picked up some more VR games, Gunny. I played Everybody's Golf.
Yeah, I did get that. So I did get the PS4, PSVR for Christmas, guys.
Nice.
Oh, nice. And so game sharing with Pinpoint Red, I've got access to a ton of games, and I've played quite a bit of them as well.
Sick.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So how's the VR experience? What is your favorite game so far that you ever played, and what's your what's your favorite thing about
Oh
it?
my gosh! So I was thinking you were going to ask me that today because I was thinking like, man, what has been? So I think two games really stick out. I think it's Wipeout, which man, I got really like not really sick. Like I wasn't like on the verge of like, like throwing up or anything. But man, I was telling John like after we got off, I was like, oh my gosh, like the next 30 minutes, I was like, oh my god, like I can't. I'm so glad he was like, let's take a break.
Oh, he was
But
playing
he
with
said
you?
there's a lot of settings. He said there's a lot of settings that I can tinker with.
You can, yes.
That
There's a setting, like I said, there's one that's, I think it's disabled by default, but it's the one where, like, the ship, when you first get on it, you're the camera. It's not the ship. Like the ship will move with your head. And then there's one where the ship is independent from your head movement, so you feel like you're actually, like, in the ship because the ship is, like, floating and moving around, and your head is independent from that. So you gotta, and the thing about VR, Gunny, no offense to you and your neck muscles, but people get motion sickness a lot when your fucking neck, because you're not used to having that big fucking thing on your head. You know what I mean? It's heavy on there.
Yeah.
So like I think at first that's what makes people motion sick, because you're not used to having this thing on your head, and you have the tendency to look down. You know, because it's pulling your head down. So I think that's what makes people sick, is your rotation's fucked up. You're looking down, but you're looking forward in the game, and your fucking balance is thrown off. I think once you get it figured out, and once you build up your neck muscles, and they're able to keep your head straight the whole time, and like fucking look around, and you know, get used to wearing a headset on your head, it makes it much easier to play with.
So for me, I do tons of lifting at work,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't think that was the issue. But the one thing you touched on was, you know, you feel like you're moving within the ship, and I think that especially that first couple races, they're quite a short.
That game
what are
is
they,
tough,
like 4
dude.
laps?
Yeah.
It is tough, man. We were playing with this guy. I think it was what was that game called? Hydro something
Thunder.
or rather. It was on the 360
Yeah.
last gen.
Hydro Thunder.
Hydro Thunder. He was like the Hydro King or something. So he was like
Really good
way
at the
ahead
game.
of us, you know.
Yeah.
And me and John were laughing because we're like, "Holy shit, this guy is good."
Just hauling ass, kicking ass.
But you know, like I think just trying to get the controls down. It wasn't so much I was moving my head around, and then also trying to move the controller around it. So I would just all jumbled up, just like that totally threw me, man. I was like, but it was such an awesome experience feeling like, yeah, I'm in that ship, I'm moving, you know. And then I think it was like hitting the brake and the L1, R1 buttons at the same, you know, and it was just,
Yeah.
oh man, it got crazy. So, but once I figured out the controls, I think by the 4th race, I was like, okay, let's steady. I got to get steady. Otherwise I'm going to have to throw this headset off, you know, before I really get sick.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, as far as the neck muscles go, no, those are fine. I do tons of lifting, so you know, I got pretty strong neck muscles and shoulders. Oh, and then I would say I'm gonna have to go with Astrobot. I think that game looked the best.
Yeah.
Like, it's obviously featured on, you know, the featured VR game that I've played, where I'm like, man, everything is crystal clear. Resolution is like perfect on this. I feel like I could just reach out and touch whatever is
Everything,
out
right?
there.
Yeah.
Oh,
The game is
that
beautiful.
was so cool.
I suggest you try Skyrim.
Okay, I mean, I've seen like people playing that game, and like, I don't know, is it really like, you know, worth a purchase? I mean,
It's
Skyrim's good,
Skyrim. It's just you're in Skyrim.
but I'm thinking it's such a last gen game. You know, I'm thinking
It is. It is a last gen game, but it's still cool to be like. That's the only game that's actually like a full open world, do whatever you want type game in VR that you can experience on the console. There's nothing else like it, you know what I mean? On PC, I would assume there's probably other games that are similar to it that you can find. But on the console itself, like on PSVR, that has to be the biggest game they have for VR.
Wow, yeah, I'd love to go into Whiterun
Yeah, like you just go into the
and
town
fight that.
what's that cool town? There's one town with all the waterfalls and the gold and shit.
Yeah,
Like going
I
in there
try to
and just
carry
looking at the
everything out of that
waterfalls,
place.
dude. Yeah, just go in there and look at the waterfalls. Just don't even do missions. Just fucking walk around the map and just experience that. It's kind of cool to see all like the places like you're seeing it like in perspective, like you're in the game. Like it's kind of weird seeing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because like, playing it, you always played it in third person. You're always playing it. If you don't play it in first, you're playing it in third, and it's all kind of zoomed out, and it's a different view. You know, when you're in the game and you can look around and see shit, or when you're on the horse and you're riding a horse, like you're on the horse, and you have to like look around and shit. It's kind of weird.
sweet, man. I'll definitely check that out. I'll see if John has that game. If
know
not, it's
it's,
probably cheap.
Usually it's $40. I know it was on sale for the PlayStation sale last week or two. It was on sale pretty cheap. It was on sale, I think, for like $15. So that's really cheap for that game. So you see it on the digital store, maybe. I would suggest picking it up there. If not, try to find it at GameStop or something. But I know GameStop usually sells it for like $40, the cheapest usually.
Okay.
I wish they would have just had support for the game that I bought multiple times. You know,
Yeah.
I bought the regular edition and like the Game of the Year edition. I wish they would have included it with the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, no, they're
You know,
assholes.
because look at little company like No Man's Sky. They included
Yeah,
VRs.
yeah, that's
But
nuts,
yeah,
right?
Skyrim, they're
But
gonna
you
make
know
me buy
what?
it for the third time.
Hey, I got to defend. Was it Peter Hines? Who's the guy behind Skyrim? Or well, I'll just say it was Peter Hines, right? Because people kept saying like, oh, you keep coming out with all these editions on all these different consoles and platforms, and he's like, stop buying the game, and I'll stop making them. That
Yeah.
was his response, and I was like, he really shut down a lot of people on that one. It was funny.
Yeah, just my initial thought though is like there's a few games like The Forest is a PC game that has VR support whether you have the base game or not. So like I owned the base game already, so I immediately had access to the VR version. The same thing with like Project Cars 2, like probably my favorite racing game in VR. It right away had full VR support. I can play it without VR, but I can play it in full VR with no additional cost. But
Right.
Skyrim makes me buy it. So that's the only reason I haven't picked up Skyrim yet.
Yeah, and I think the other one. So I've only purchased one game on this, and I haven't even played it. My son's played it a lot, and
Which
it
one?
was like super hot. That was his most anticipated game to play in VR.
Really?
I read an article saying that Superhot was one of the top selling VR games of the year. Like I think it beat out Beat Saber and everything. They were saying that it was like the number one selling VR game.
It's a good VR
This holiday.
game. It's
It
a
is
game
fun.
designed for VR. You know what I mean? Like,
And
Yeah, I don't.
And I wouldn't have known this unless it wasn't for Jonathan. He's like, I was telling John we were playing Star Trek Bridge Crew, and I'm like, I'm really tired, John. My legs are hurting. He goes, go get a chair. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't think about that. It's not Connect. I don't need to. I'm
Yeah.
not dancing here. So
But some
like,
games
holy
you
shit, I went to the
can't,
kitchen, got a
like
chair, and
Superhot is kind of got to kind of move around a little bit. So
But you know what? So using the Move controllers, my kid only had some issues with, not recognizing the Move controllers. If you have it too low or what have you. So you've got to have proper, like place of where you stand. Probably, I'm sure it's the same with Oculus. Of how that camera sees you.
Yeah.
well, my Oculus, the camera's built in, so it just depends where I want to sit. One game I thought they incorporated that was really neat in VR is I picked up Trover Saves the Universe, and your character is called a Cheropian, and you're a person sitting in a chair in the game. And so if you look down, you see yourself sitting in a chair, and you can float up over top of the map. So it's like a typical platformer, but you can be on ground level, or you can hit like the bumpers on the controller, and you'll raise up higher, so you can have like an above view to see what's going on. And sometimes you need to do that to see around obstacles and stuff like that. But yeah, you caught a Cheropian, and you're just sitting in a chair and you're floating around behind Trover.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, but Jesus, one of the things since you've got me into the whole VR talk is that golf game. So check this out. So I start out, and I'm like, all right, I think it was might have been the first game I played because I just get that code that came with the bundle. And you could tell I'm a real golfer because I've got my club out, right? And it's telling me, that, okay, like this is how you center yourself, right? Which is the way it goes for most games. How the camera sees your headset and your Move controllers or the actual PS4 controller. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, all right, how hard can I whack this ball? And I keep trying to hit the ball, and it's not working at all. And it does give you like a detailed, like a demo almost, right, of what everything is on your PS4 controller. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm doing everything correctly. So I don't even know why it's not working. And I didn't know this, but like it wasn't until I took my headset off that I think I even realized like I wasn't even looking like like where I'm supposed to be hitting the ball. I was standing like to the straight ahead where you're supposed to like stand to the left or something like that. And like so it was such an idiot moment, like I just had to laugh. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, okay, all right.
Christ.
Yes, I'm supposed to see like where the ball hits, like. And then after that, it was like, I was like, all right, cool. I see what's going on here. Like I'm in VR.
The game's actually pretty fun. Not everybody's golf. I ended up picking it up on that sale. I think it was like $20 or something on the sale. and it's a fun little game. Like it's golfing, but you can just fucking go and like just golf whenever you want.
Yeah, it's cool. Like you meet the lady at the golf club, and she's like, "Hey, what do you want to do?"
Oh yeah, the lady at the
Campaign.
golf club. Yeah.
Hey, hi, come closer, baby.
Oh
And
yeah.
she's like, do you want to go do some putting
Oh yeah. Let's go
after
do
the
some
balls? Yeah.
putting.
So I haven't even started the campaign. I think I've just been just practicing.
Fucking
Is
around.
what I've been doing.
Yeah, there's a driving range. You can just hit the ball and see how fucking far you can hit it or whatever. There's a driving range you can just practice your hitting, I guess.
Yeah, and from actual golfing years ago, like I would say my mid-20s, I was like, okay, I kind of got the hang of this. I know how this works. So yeah, I really like the practicing range.
Nice.
It's fun,
But yeah.
very relaxing.
What else did I play besides that? So, got the VR game, got that one. Did I pick up anything else in the VR? Trying to think. No. Oh, wait, on Steam Machine Mayo,
I'm listening now.
I ended up picking up Disco Elysium.
Oh,
I
yes.
saw that you played that game. That's like one game that I'd like to play as well.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, Gunny, until I played it.
I saw you played an hour and a half. I looked at your history and I'm like, oh, he did play this for an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it was.
Yeah, right under the
Maybe to
time
ask
I
you
had
about
to refund it.
What?
Yeah. So, anyways, I played it. It's just not the game for me. I can see the appeal. I see what people are saying, how well written it is, because it is really well written. It's extensive dialogue if you want to read a lot. It's just a lot of dialogue, very well written dialogue, but it's a lot of it. A lot of inner dialogue, like in your head. So there's a lot of like these little bubbles that pop around your character, and you can click on him, and it'll be a thought that'll be in your head, and it'll be like, "You're a fucking failure." Or you're an alcoholic, that's all you will ever be, and that's all you are. Like, so pretty much you wake up in this hotel room, don't know who the fuck you are, you don't know what you are, you don't know who you are, and you pretty much find like a shirt, a jacket, pants, no shoes, no socks. I think I found a tie on the ceiling fan, and you had to get that down. Then I go downstairs, and I'm like, where the fuck am I? Who are these people?
Who is she?
And I go to
Why is
like,
she naked?
yeah, I go to like the main, like the hotel room is a mess. It's like all just torn apart, like trashed. And I go to the main guy in the front, like in the lobby, and I'm like, hey, dude, who are you? And are you the bartender? And he's like, I'm the owner of the hotel or something. I'm the manager here. And you're like, okay, bartender. He's just being a dick to him, And the dude fucking pretty much just kind of like tells you kind of who the fuck you are. Like, you're like, what am I doing here? And he's like, dude, like, fuck if I know what you're doing here. Like, what the hell do you want? And pretty much you end up finding out you're a cop in like this world that's kind of like a dystopian world that's kind of like a communist world. So this is this country that's going through a revolution. Is what you're in. So the country's going through a revolution. The government has been dismantled. I think it used to be a communist government, but it's switching over to a democratic government. And you're a cop in this government, like in this world or whatever. But the people don't give a fuck about the cops. They just don't really care about cops, And you pretty much run around and you have to investigate like what happened to this murder. The whole reason you're there is because there was a murder that happened a week ago, and you're there to solve the murder. But at the same time, you're trying to figure out what's going on, like who you are, what's going on in this neighborhood. There's a protest going on in this neighborhood. There's a bookshop you can go into and find some crazy shit going on in this bookshop. But like I said, at the end of the day, dude, there is some voice acting. But I wish the full game was fully voice acted. I would totally get way into it. But since it's not, I don't have the patience to sit there and read. You know what I mean? I just don't have that patience. And it's not like a one sentence thing that you're reading, Gunny. You're reading like paragraphs, like a whole page of fucking text pops up, and you're like, fuck, okay. And you have to sit there and read this. You know what I mean? It's like. But every so often, the guy will say something. Like the guy will actually have voice acted. Like they actually hired voice actors to do some of these lines, but they couldn't afford to pay them to do all the dialogue or something. So they only paid him to do so much, and like kind of like said, "Fuck it, we'll just like write everything else out," and you just have to say like a one-liner thing or whatever, and that's kind of it. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
The art style is kind of interesting. It's an interesting little art style, but I don't know, man. I really wanted to like this game. I thought it was kind of cool. There's like a whole mystery around like why the fuck were you passed out in a room drunk? Like, are you really an alcoholic or what's going on here? You know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like almost like just from what I've seen, like almost like a Walking Dead thing. But it seems very, I don't know. Is it like a side-scrolling thing the entire time? Does it ever zoom in on the other characters? I haven't really watched too much gameplay on it.
No, not really. It's mostly like a top-down, kind of like an asymmetrical type game where it's kind of like you're at an angle and you see a guy walking around. You see the partner that you have walking around with you. Every so often, when you click on a person to talk to them, the screen will change and you'll see the person like a full figure. But it's never animated. It's always like a still figure. Like every time you zoom in on somebody, it's like a still picture. It's like a drawing of them or whatever. That's the art style, On the bottom left of the screen, you have your character details, like your health, your stamina, I think it's called, like, how healthy your mind is. Like, it's psychology or something like that. It's like how healthy your mind is. Because you can go fucking crazy in this game, apparently. And, but I made my character really smart. So he's not going to go crazy, but he just doesn't know he's really weak. But he's really smart. But he can do shit like a person who's really strong could do. But he could probably outsmart most people, you know what I mean? So that's like...
So it probably helps in dialogue.
Yeah, it helps a lot in dialogue. Like, I can trick people into telling me things because I'm very smart. But another person can just threaten somebody to tell them things, you know what I mean? Like, if a person was really strong but not really smart, you can just threaten people to tell you things, and you can just punch them, and they'll tell you things, because you're that strong. But my character wasn't very strong, but he was really smart, and his mind... Like, there's another thing called, like, your psyche, and then how strong that is. And depending on how strong that is, if it's a level 5, then that means you're really healthy, like you have a good mind. If it's a 3, you're like at an average. If it's a 1, you have a fucking... your mind is bound to believe anything. So, like, I noticed people that played the game that had like a 1 on the psyche or whatever, and they're like their fucking tie that you find on the ceiling on the fan. It starts talking to you and telling you shit. Like, hey, motherfucker. Like, you need to listen to me. I'm your friend. And you're like, okay, I'm your friend, Ty. Oh, wow. I'll listen to you, friend. And next thing you know, the fucking tie is telling you to do different things, you know what I mean? And you're just fucking listening to a top that you're wearing.
That's psychotic.
Yeah, so it's pretty psychotic shit like that. And the game is kind of, like I said, the game is really interesting. It's well written. And it's like the characters are kind of cool and interesting. But there's like a whole weird thing going on in the game. Like, there's racism in the game. There's all this shit going on in the game. And it is what it is. Not for me, though. I don't think it's worth the price. $40 seems like very expensive for this game. But some people love it, dude. Some people really think this game is
some people
shit.
do. Like, I know some personalities where I know people that, they game for a living. So I can say, like, yeah, that's definitely a game for them. Mm-hmm. And I've been seeing it's like $32 on Steam.
It's $31.99 right now on sale. That's what I bought it for, but I got a refund, so fuck that.
Yeah, I'm thinking 20.
That's what I'm thinking would
console, make it 20.
If it was 20, I would have stuck. I would have been like, okay, I'm gonna stick with this. But it's fucking $32. I'm not. I can't. I just don't feel like I can justify that price for that game that I'm never gonna play again.
Yeah.
Anyways, other than that, besides all that good stuff, the fuck else did I play? I'm just sitting here thinking of all the games that I play. I played some World War Z with the Mayo.
Yeah.
Ghost Nico, Brink, Gunny. Played with all you guys. So World War Z is a game that was on sale on the Epic Store. Like I told you guys last time, it was on sale for $5. You get a $10 coupon off of 15. Get it for $5. A lot of people ended up picking this game up in the community. I convinced Brink to pick it up, and he picked it up. And it's one of the better purchases I've ever done for $5. Because it's so much fucking fun playing with friends, man. That's what I was waiting for, the game. I wanted to pick it up on the Epic Store when it was on sale a few months ago for $20. But I was like, I know nobody's going to pick it up at $20. But now that it was $5, we were able to convince people to pick it up. And,
You convinced me pretty quick. I was like, oh, only $5.
yeah, it's $5 fucking
I'll
bucks.
take it.
Same here. Once I heard $5, I picked it up, and
Yeah.
the funny thing was, you two weren't around them one night. I happened to jump on it with Ghost Nico, and we ended up with 7 people in the Discord all chatting. We had to have people sit out, and we almost had enough to make 2 full games.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw when you guys were playing that. I was going to join you guys, but I was like, I'm going to play Call of Duty instead. But yeah, it's wild, man. The game's so much fun. I ran through the campaign, and then it's funny because we were playing with Ghost Nico, and I think Ghost Nico was like, this is too easy, or something like that.
Yeah.
So we ended up bumping up the difficulty to normal from easy or regular,
Right.
regular
Just
or whatever it's
normal.
called. And dude, we were getting our asses. We died in this one area of the game like fucking 4 times. At the end, we barely made it out with the skin of our, like barely, dude. Like we fucking barely made it out. Like it was the point where like Nico had gone down. He's like, just run, and it's like me running and Brink's running to hit the button. I'm like, Brink, just hit the button, just fucking hit the button. And he's like, which one? I'm like, just hit the fucking button on the gate. Just leave me behind. I don't give a shit. I'm just like trying to run to catch up to him. I'm fucking hitting the zombies off of me. There's big motherfucking zombies chasing me. The big bull guy is chasing you. Oh, the big guy that grabs you and stomps you on the ground. I was just like, fuck, dude, fuck this, run. And we barely made it, dude. Like, fucking barely. It was wild. But those moments make the game so much fun, you know what I mean? It's just fun.
It's like,
seeing all the
like
chaos.
I think about, like I've never played past normal, but I think, like you said, you've got 4 friends. You all know the maps. You know what buttons to push, where to stand. Like, there's just more to a strategy than just shooting
No, there
zombies,
is.
right?
Yeah, there is. Because they come from
Like,
everywhere.
you kept going down the stairs, like where that acid fog was or whatever. I'm like, oh, let me follow you down there. You're like, no, don't come down here yet till I press the button or whatever it was you had to activate.
Yeah.
And then everybody had to come rescue me. It was just, yeah, it was cool.
There's frustrating moments in the game where you're like, fuck, why did we fuck that up? You know what I mean? But at the same time,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. And shout out to Ghost Nico for playing with me, man. I play a lot with him and play a lot with Brink. Shout out to him as well. It was just a fun experience playing with all you guys. It was just a blast. I had fun.
It's fun, like we came into that one area where we're in that sort of warehouse part where I come up and there's a machine gun there, and I'm just like immediately I just went for it, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna stay on this thing. That's just all there is to it. Just mow down fucking hordes,
Yeah, we
Throw
beat
some grenades.
we ended up beating the first one, the New York City campaign. We beat the Jerusalem campaign. And I think we ended up beating the Tokyo one last, where like you have to get to the cruise ship, and then everybody has to get onto the cruise ship, and we got to defend the cruise ship while it's taking off. Like, that was wild. And I think the next one I have to do is on the cruise ship itself. That's the next mission I have to do. So that's cool. I can't wait to do that, because I think that's a new one that they added into the campaign after the game came out. There was like a free DLC on for like a mission, was the cruise ship one. It wasn't,
because I haven't seen
it wasn't
that
there.
one.
Yeah, I never saw it before until like I started like, what is this? And I started looking back into it. They've actually done a lot of updates to the game where they've added new content. Like, there was new zombies in the game as well, like that spitter zombie that spits on you or whatever. That one's
Yeah.
a new one that they've added like in September or something. So the cruise ship is actually a mission they've added to the game back in July. So that's after I played the game, because I ended up buying this on the Xbox, if you remember, when it first came out.
Same here.
So
I bought it when it came out.
Yeah, so I ended up buying it.
It's funny, we never
and
got
that's when
together on that.
Yeah, and that's when I played it. So I didn't play it since then. But now, seeing all the content they actually released for the game and all the patches they actually did for it, it's good to know that they're actually supporting the game. You know what I mean? So I'm glad.
Yeah, for sure.
Glad
Yeah,
they got
fun
my
with
money.
friends, man. Play on like normal, play on hard.
Fuck that, dude.
But, yeah,
couldn't
that's
imagine.
rough. I think the best I've done is what I would call is like 2-star. With a group of real people.
Yeah.
You try to go in that game with the computer AI,
No.
and good luck. You got to have to level those guns up. Is the only thing I can think of, because
See, that's what
You
it's
just get
grindy.
overran.
That's what it's meant for, right? It's there for you to. There's just, there's a lot of gameplay to be had.
And
If you just like
also-
shooting zombies, it's the game for you.
Also, the multiplayer is really interesting as well, because in the multiplayer itself, you'll be like on a team. It'll be team deathmatch, 5 versus 5 or whatever. But inside the map, while you're on team deathmatch and you're killing each other, there'll be swarms of zombies that come in all of a sudden. So like all of a sudden the game will be like,
It's
hey,
funny.
fucking swarm of zombies is coming. And you know, like 1,000 fucking zombies are coming over the fucking wall, and like you're trying to shoot them, but you're trying to shoot the enemy at the same time. It's just fucking chaos, dude. But,
it's fun. I've watched streams of it. Like I haven't played the team deathmatch yet, but I think Brink, if you're listening, you might like this because, like you said, dude. Jesus, you come in. And it's like, no, I'm going to go hide behind the counter because as the stream of zombies comes in, and then here comes the enemy, right? The real person on the other team. And he's just getting fucked up, man. It's hilarious. Yeah. Just sit back and watch.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. And I got to say, the performance on PC, man, compared to the console, is night and fucking day, dude. Even on the Xbox One X, the game was only 30 frames a second. So seeing it run like at 90 and 100 frames or, you know, well above 60 when there's hundreds of zombies on the screen, it's fucking incredible. You're like, fuck, this feels so good right now.
I don't know about you, but especially in third person, makes a difference.
Like how many zombies are being controlled on the screen, like how they're coming at you. The game never really chugs or hiccups or anything. It just stays smooth the whole entire time.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's really well optimized on the PC. I had a lot of fun with it. So on the Xbox, it runs okay, 30 frames a second. It's still fun, but there's definitely a huge difference between the two. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, besides all that good stuff, I think that's all I played this week, guys. I mean, I look forward to... Oh, wait. There's one game that I played. Mayo.
Yes.
Control.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my.
Yeah, let's dig into some Control, because I think Gunny has some Control to talk about also.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I completed that game.
So no spoilers, guys. I know you guys beat it. I haven't.
How far are you in? I know the last time we talked, you were at Psychotropy or whatever it was called.
4.5 hours into the game, according to Epic. Apparently, I'm at the parapsychology mission. So I have to go find this doctor in the psychology center or something. I made it there, and I'm fighting through my way through there or whatever. Interesting little game. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did. And I'm still having fun with it. It's interesting. And fuck, that cat is loud outside. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What that noise was.
You guys can hear that thing? It's fucking like fucking screaming like I'm a fucking cat. Sounds like it's getting killed or something. Like
didn't even know that was a cat. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's like it's getting like eaten alive out there or something. Fucking thing, dude. But yeah, anyway, sorry about the background noise, people. It's a fucking cat outside. I don't even know whose cat that is. But yeah, Control's a lot of fun. It starts off strong with that like whole intro, like you don't know what the fuck's going on. All of a sudden, it's like, what the fuck's going on? You know what I mean? Like I thought that was interesting how you walk past that picture or that painting of the janitor, and then you walk past it, and then you go around this little circle of offices. You talk to the janitor, and he's like, "Yeah, the elevator's that way." And you go back out to the same. I'm like, I was just down this hallway, dude. And then you go, and you're like, what the fuck? The elevator's right here. And you're like, wait a minute, the painting of the dude was right here like a second ago. And you're like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, you know what I mean? And I actually went back to see if he was still there, and he was. He was just there cleaning. And I'm like,
yeah, like, like I can see people thinking not playing this game, like, is he important, not important? I'm not going to spoil it, whether he is or isn't, or if he's relevant or not.
It was interesting to see how that played out. Like, there's a lot of moments in the game around, like, I'll go through that, like, I'll experience something like that where, like, I go through something and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I just been through here and like, oh no, the thing's just changed, you know, like, subtle change, but everything's changed now.
Yeah, I was actually pretty confused through a lot of the story on this game. What about you, Gunny? Like, without giving stuff away, like...
I would say especially with your brother.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's going on with my... Is there a backstory that I missed regarding my brother and how he came to be, you know?
Yeah, I had that same thought. Like, later on in the game, you remember the part when there's like a... We're trying not to give too much away here. There's a scene where you go... There's like a replica of a city. Do you remember that without giving too much away, Gunny?
No.
Okay, it's getting late in the game, and then you go through this, and there's like a little city block, and you're bigger than it, but you're like walking through, and you have to fight some enemies. And they start talking about that stuff in your childhood with your brother and the projector and all that stuff, and then it got really confusing to me. I'm like, Okay, what?
I'm still confused about the projector. Even after I've finished this game, I've just
Yes.
about beat every side mission. I put tons of hours into this. I think I've literally got like 2, maybe 3 tiny little side missions I need to complete before
I have
I would
like
say 100% it.
4 side missions left, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to. I should just go back and finish them because it's such a fun game. Like Jesus said, I just had a blast with it.
But I will say, my Gunny, you're probably in agreement with me. Is my favorite level is called Ashtray's Maze, and that
I
level
watched
was
you
just
stream that
amazing.
as well. Now I haven't gone back to it, and that's the cool thing is you can go back and kind of replay these missions.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun. Like that is a neat psychedelic style map.
I like how they throw the music in there too. And if you pay attention to your character, she puts headphones on when you get into the
I
first
didn't
hallway.
notice that she put the headphones on, but I mean, obviously she did because of the previous mission, where I'm like, when do I put the headphones on? And I'm like, oh, okay, now I know.
Yeah,
I like it though. I like how the board is talking to you and like you know what the fuck they're saying half the time. You're like,
right. It's all confusing.
So horrible.
Kojima
Like
game.
what the fuck? And then the one thing that I'm finding disturbing is the voices that you're constantly hearing in the game in the beginning, like you fucking suck. I don't know what the fuck they're saying, but they're saying something like that, and you're like, what the fuck are they really saying? I tried to sit there the other day, and I played this shit I played on the PC, but I always play with headphones on here. And I was sitting there, I'm like, I just sat there in a room, and I'm sitting there with like the head on, what the fuck are they saying to me? You know, is this like some? I thought it was like I was thinking to myself, is it like Hellblade where it's telling you you're gonna fail or something? Is that what it's doing? Is this sending messages to my brain that I'm gonna fail or something? Like what's going on here? You know what I mean? But I couldn't really tell what it was saying. It's saying something. I'm sure. I'm sure that the designer of the game put that in there because it's saying something, and they know it fucks with your head. It has to be. Why else would they put that in there, Mayo? Why else? It's probably like fucking with your head, making you creeped out or something. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, it does. It gives you that atmosphere. You know the kind of like what's going on.
Jesse,
creepy shit's going on here.
Jesse, who is the director, that's your main character, Jesse McFadden. No, she is not afraid. That's why I like her a lot.
She's like, fuck you, motherfucker.
I'll fuck all y'all up.
Well, if you had those kind of powers, you wouldn't be afraid either. She can...
Jesse, we need you to go down there and fight 50 demons and turn the power back on. All right, tell me where to go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I think this game just clicked with me right away. You know,
She
We're
gives
like,
no
yeah, she's a
fucks.
badass. She's like Laura.
Yeah.
Fuck her off. You know, fuck all you. I ain't
Yeah,
afraid
I
of
don't
no
give
more.
a fuck. Fuck you, bitch ass demon things. I'll fucking kill all of you. You know? She's like, no question. She's not even questioning what's going on. She's like, fuck it, I'm the director now. Fuck, I got a gun.
Guys, what do you think about the audio in this? You know, when you're picking up things to throw at enemies, I think that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You know, the firing of the weapons, everything just sounds really good.
I like the guns. I like the shotgun gun, and I like the revolver. It got the gun that's like it spins like a machine gun.
Yeah, I use that
that
one and
upgrade.
probably the shotgun the most.
Yeah, the shotgun is sick too.
Yeah, I was gonna say later on in the game you get a gun, and Jesus, this is just some advice for you. Is there's one later on called the charge form, and it's basically like a grenade launcher.
Okay.
And so you're thinking, oh, cool, grenade launcher, you know. And I spent some, materials on getting this gun, and I didn't really ever use it because it's more for like groups of enemies. But a lot of times you don't fight the enemies in that many groups. You know.
No, I didn't
The
like
game
that gun
doesn't
at
really
all.
And I didn't use that gun at all. And it's the last form you get. And like I said, I used the maps and made it. Thought, cool, I'll get to check this gun out. And I didn't use it hardly
What
at all.
upgrades do you guys think I should go for? So I know that right now I've upgraded my health twice. I think I've upgraded my pull power once, like to do more damage when I throw things at people.
That one especially.
And I
I
upgraded the
use that
one
a
where
lot.
I have more force. Like I have more of that force pull thing.
The energy or
Yeah,
whatever.
more energy. I think energy is the one that you should.
Yeah, I used a lot of the upgrade to do extra damage when you're throwing things at objects, because the only enemy that really doesn't come into effect with is the one that flies, and he can dodge what you throw at him.
Yeah.
He's the only one that doesn't really.
But all the other ones, I noticed that the ones with like the shields, I fucking throw shit at them, and that shit takes their shield off all the way. It's like, boom,
yeah, breaks your shield, and then later on too, if you keep putting points into that, you can get an ability once their health gets low, you can pick them up and throw them at other people too.
Oh, that's sick.
So
that's pretty cool. Watching the ragdoll effects of it. Yeah. You know, picking a guy up, throwing him at another guy. Boom.
There's some pretty cool. There's some pretty cool characters in this game. I like the chick, the chick that's like the main FBI chick. What the fuck's her name? The blonde chick. The first one you
she's
rescue.
The one kind of giving you some direction.
Yeah, the one that's kind of telling you. She's the one that's telling you what's going on or whatever. She's pretty cool. Like I'm like, this chick is bad. I noticed the game has a lot of emphasis on the females being the badass characters in the game. You know what I mean? There's a lot of emphasis on that. This is a very strong, like, female lead game. That something that's nice to see that you don't see often in the video game industry. I think ever since we got that reboot of the Tomb Raider, it's kind of been like a thing now where like they're trying to make characters that are badass, that are chicks. Like, because ever since then we got what? We got like Ellie in The Last of Us 2. She's gonna be the main character. We got the chick. Was it Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn? She's the main character there, you know. We got her. So there's been cool characters that are chicks, but like this one, she's a badass, like bad motherfucker, dude. Yeah, she kicks ass. So it's cool to see her.
I think my favorite ability in the game is something like I think there's only so many upgrades for it, but it's the slam feature. You know, where you kind of levitate and then you see the enemy and then you. Whatever it is.
Like a ground pound.
It's the ground pound. Bam! And it just does a ton of damage to the enemy.
And if I remember right, Jesus, I think you unlock a couple upgrades through side quests. Like you can go through the game and not actually get those upgrades. I think the shield was a side quest you actually have to go in and get. And the ground pound, I think. I don't remember if that one was a side quest or not. But you get some of those through the side quest, actually.
The only side quest I've done is the unicorn or the carousel one. You have to get the carousel little horse thing or whatever. Mm-hmm. That one's super easy. That's the one I did.
Yeah, you'll get some that are a little more complex later on, but they're pretty fun and stuff too. But and also thing too is I think I was reading up on this game is what's kind of neat is this game I guess takes place in the world of the other. Is it Remedy games?
Yeah, Alan Wake and shit.
So it's the same world as Alan Wake and Quantum Break, and I guess there's references throughout.
Yeah, I think I ran into one of those.
When you go to that hotel,
in the other places, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like in that hotel, I definitely get a Alan Wake vibe.
I got an Alan Wake vibe from that too. I'm like, this place seems familiar. What is the feeling of this place? You know what I mean? That little hotel thing.
Yeah, because you go through the hotel. What I want to say it's at least 4 or 5 times throughout the game that I remember. And I get an Alan Wake every time.
I think.
Yeah, that was cool. How to get to the hotel? You pull the light switch, then you pull it again, then you pull it again. Then you're like, holy shit! What the fuck?
Boom, 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 boom.
What the
right?
fuck?
And I'm just like, I wasn't listening to the tones, and I remember I was telling you guys it's 3 times. Yeah. I kept coming in, pulling it once, going, nothing's happening.
Yeah, the first time I pulled it, and the room lit up in the middle. Like I tried to run into it, and like she just fell to her death.
I did the same thing. Do I
not doing that again?
How does this work?
I think not doing that again. So I just sat there and I started pulling the switch, and I did that. I was like, whoa. Like I thought I was just fucking around. I was not expecting that to even happen. Oh shit! But yeah, it's a fucking cool game. I'm getting like 45 frames per second on ultra everything. Which goes to tell you something. I tried to play it on my 4K OLED and on ultra, and I was getting 15 frames per second.
Yeah, I don't know how many it is on the Xbox One X, but it runs good.
I wasn't watching my frame rates. I didn't have a counter up. But did you try this with RTX on at all? Because it's enabled on our cards. You can actually turn it on. I didn't know. I haven't tried it myself.
No, it will probably tank my FPS at like 20-something, though.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's on Ultra.
I played with the settings. I looked at it, and you can change like how much RTX effects are on.
Yeah,
so you can change, say, a certain amount of things have like reflection and stuff like that.
Yeah. I know there's a few settings in there. I was like, yeah, if you want to turn this on, your card must have RTX. I was like, should I turn it on? I was like, no, I don't want to disappoint myself. You don't need an upgrade, Jesus. You gotta hold out, motherfucker. So, that's what I'm gonna do for now. Yeah, I'm gonna hold out another year, guys.
Yeah, I think I'm in too.
Me
For
too.
PC parts. Because I feel like this year we're gonna get the parts that are on the next consoles, and if I really want that, I'll just buy a console for $500 at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Get the power there, and then I'll fucking get a new PC next year. Woo!
Yeah.
Woo! Because why not? I could get both of the consoles for the same price I'm gonna pay for a new fucking graphics card that comes out this year. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because even like the 2080 Ti's or whatever, they're still like $1,200 fucking dollars.
That's too much. Yeah. For
So like,
for me.
so like I can get both of the consoles for $500 each and still save myself $200 at that point. So what the fuck? There's no way I'm gonna buy the new cards. You know what I mean? You can have both consoles and have awesome fucking gaming and great technology, and up to the date technology this year for the price of one fucking graphics card.
And everything I'm reading through like NVIDIA sites and stuff like that and rumor mills is the NVIDIA cards next generation are going to be cheaper again. They're going to come back down in price.
Okay, that's good. Well, that's good.
So
I'm hoping the ones that come out next year are still cheap.
They're going to a 7-nanometer technology, and it's supposed to be, I guess, more efficient. And they're saying, like, the efficiency, like they said they could basically take a GTX, or not GTX, but the RTX 1660, which is like a small budget card. They said with this new technology, it'll outperform the 2080 Ti.
Oh shit!
If they use this new technology in that little card itself there, so you can imagine what it's going to do to
for the next
the better cards.
Yeah.
Right. So they're saying that, and the price is going to be a little
cheaper.
It'll
be like a double, triple jump in power.
Yeah, I'm guessing to probably $800 range for the maximum card.
Yeah,
that's
good. But when it's like $1,200, dude, I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna pay $1,200 for a card. I just won't want to pay that much for the card.
That's insane. And this is the first time that's ever happened on these 20 series cards. We've never had a card,
man. Like, that's how much I paid for my whole PC. What the fuck?
Yeah. I remember when the Titans came out. They were called a Titan back in the 10 series, and they were $1,000, and everybody was $999 for a graphics card. This is insane. But they were like the cream of the crop. You had the 1080 Ti, which was a beast, and then you had the Titan. This thing is like the almighty graphics card. And now this new series comes out, and they're like the 2080 Ti comes out, and we're going $1,200, and everybody's what? Where did this come from?
I think NVIDIA's learning their lesson that people are not buying at those prices, because I know a lot of PC gamers that are not going for that. They're like on Reddit and shit. They're like, fuck that. I'm sticking with my 1080 Ti until the next ones come out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck that. I ain't paying for that shit. Because
they found their happy medium.
They don't feel like it's worth it.
Because the thing is,
yeah, you can buy yourself a 2080 card, but at the same time, you're not getting that much better performance. You're getting ray tracing. That's where you're getting. You're not getting like look at Red Dead Redemption 2 on a 2080 Ti. You might get 60 frames, maybe 80, 90. But that's not a whole bunch compared to like your 1080 Ti. You still get 50, 60 on a 1080 Ti but medium settings. And if you think about the next cards, you want something that's like a huge difference, you know what I mean, from what you have.
Right.
And I just don't feel like the 20 series cards are that much of a huge difference besides the RTX, which they've already enabled. And they've already enabled the RTX on our cards anyway. So if you really want to play with the RTX on, you just take a hit on the frame rates and play with lower frame rate or whatever. So like, there's really, I don't know what the benefit is of having a 2080 card or 2070 card at this point is.
Yeah, and guys, with me, I know Mayo knows this as well, that with me, when I go to upgrade, it may not even be next year for me, because you figure I still have that mini motherboard in my PC, in this big giant case, so I need to upgrade that first.
Well, yeah, most likely you'd probably get a new motherboard, new CPU. You probably get new everything at this point.
I'd probably keep the CPU I have, like it works super well.
Yeah.
But everything else I would change out.
I would think I would just change
out the CPU.
I would change
also,
everything out. I think might as well. I mean, you got from what like the new CPUs can do to these old ones, man. It's a big difference, and I think.
And the price isn't that much.
Year,
You can look at these Ryzens, these new Ryzens, even the lower tier
right?
$200 Ryzens are outperforming our i7s that we have, Gunny.
Yeah.
So $200, you can get a lot more cores, and you get a lot more power, better power management. These things manage the power better, so they run cooler temperatures, so it enables them to run a little faster and more steady.
But
so yeah, and that would probably help if I really want to overclock some things, if the need ever comes up, that's not going to be such a big issue in the
and
future.
Streaming and stuff like that too. If you want to stream a little more, your streams run a little better and stuff like that.
But I know that I think this year I'm probably just gonna buy the new console. To be honest, guys, and then I'll just wait till next year to get the upgrade for the new PC shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys didn't notice, this year already at CES, some crazy shit has been unveiled. Samsung unveiled their brand new 8K television with QLED technology that's bezel-less. So, like, it has no bezel, no edges. Like, the screen goes all the way to the fucking edge of your screen. There's no
Love
bezel
to have that
on
in the living room.
It's fucking sick, dude. Oh, man, that's so nice. Looks fucking amazing. Yeah. But it is what it is.
What's that video? I don't know who it was, but they were showing a video of like how they were just beating on the TV. It might have been something like that, but I don't know what material it was. Like just kind of testing out to see if they can break the TV by punching it.
Oh, really?
I don't know what brand it was, but it seemed to be real. But I don't think beating on your television is going to help.
I mean, the bezel-less technology is cool, but my TV already has a small bezel on it, like very small. So, but I could see how like having no bezel at all make a big difference. Anyways, what have you been playing, Mayo? Besides Control and all that good stuff.
Get back on the VR kick for a minute. I'm gonna touch on. I got to play our friend Matt Bradford's VR game.
Wow.
So the guy that does, for those that don't know, our little disclaimer at the beginning, Matt Bradford, he is the main voice actor, or supposedly going to be the main voice actor in this game called Rest, WREST. And they have a free demo on Steam right now where you can play this in VR. Mm. But this game is a horror game, so you have to be willing to play a horror game and not no Lucky's Tale. And this is so I had it for a little while. I'm like, I gotta play this game. Listening to old Matt Bradford talk when you get in there is kind of surreal. Jumping in and he's talking about a couple things and he's hollering for this one girl, and it's like, that's Matt Bradford. It's kind of fun. But what I can say about the demo though is it's really short. So it's only about a 15-minute long demo. I was hoping it would be like a little bit longer, or at least show you a lot more stuff. So you get in and it gives you a little bit of time with the controls. It gives you the options of like, okay, is this how you want to move, or do you want to move this way? So you had the options of doing the traditional. This one would do like walk with your thumbstick, and you could just look around freely within your VR, or you could only walk the direction you were facing in your VR. And that one really threw me off. It was kind of really awkward in controls. And so I went with the traditional free walk, free look kind of thing. And a lot like a couple of those other games, kind of No Man's Sky-ish and stuff like that. So you can just kind of walk around freely. And here I am playing this game, in VR, and I'm expecting all these jump scares. And, you're on this abandoned space station. There's this girl that's locked behind a door, and you have to figure out how to unlock the door. So you have to like open this little compartment, and you put this basically round cylinder in, and it's like a key, and it makes it so you open the door. And the door slides open because you're on a space station. Everything has to have sliding doors. and you walk into the next room and there's just blood everywhere, and there's this table and there's blood dripping from the ceiling, and there's drag marks across the floor where a body was dragged around. And so you're looking around and there's all these corners and crevices, and it's kind of dark, and you have a flashlight and you're looking, and I'm super cautious. I'm looking around every corner waiting for that jump scare, just knowing it's coming, when they're going to get me. When they're going to get me, looking around this corner, looking around that corner. So then I find this room, and it has this evil clown poster on the wall, and it's got like fangs on the clown and stuff like that. And I'm like, there's going to be a jump scare in here. I can just feel it. And I walk in, and it's like a little bathroom, and there's nothing in there. I'm like, oh, man. Okay. So next, as you go through the game, just the demo had a few jump scares in it. But not a whole lot. So it's actually pretty mild, but you can tell how they're setting the game up, how it's gonna have these jump scares. And the one that got me, I completely wasn't expecting it. It was, how you expect it to be like when you open a door or you open something or something pops out at you or something like that. This is just in a big open area all of a sudden, so something happens and it scares you, But there's a lot of objects in the game that you can interact with, but you can't really do anything. You can pick them up and look at them. I found there's a kitchen you walk into, and there's a bunch of kitchen knives, and you can pick up each knife and you can carry them around. But I haven't figured out where you can use them as a weapon or had that opportunity to use as a weapon. But it feels like they're kind of setting up that mechanic. And
More tech right now than anything.
Yeah, and then there's also a table when you first start the game. And it looks like there's like a tool you could put over your arm into, and it would go around your arm and around your wrist. And I kept messing with that, thinking I could attach it to my character in VR or something like that, and that would be some kind of weapon or something like that you can use to battle, these supernatural forces or whatever you're having to deal with. And you couldn't do anything with it. You could pick it up and you could look at it, but you could never actually put it on or anything like that. You're just kind of looking at it, and you just had to put it to the side. And so everything else was pretty much just a walking simulator at that point. You couldn't pick up any of the knives. You could pick up the knives, but you couldn't use them. You just can just drop them. And there's other things like health packs and stuff like that you could find, but there was no way to use them. You could pick them up and look at them, and there was a thing they show where you can put something in a microwave. You can pick it up and you put it in a microwave and you close the microwave, and it shows you interacting with it like that. But it doesn't do anything for you. So you can see the mechanics. So they're going to add this in, and I'm pretty sure the game is in early development yet, or that's all they want you to see now, and save the rest for later. But
okay,
it was pretty interesting. I mean, Again, it was short, but I'm not a big fan of the horror games.
No, me neither. And I did play one that was on PS4, and I can't think of the name of it, but we were on a space station.
Like like Dead Space or anything like that?
Yeah, sort of like a Dead Space, but it starts you out. And it's kind of dark, but you see some features, like out and outer space, and I think you get on this elevator and it takes you to another part of the space station where, you're not sure if there's anybody even on the ship besides you, but then you see somebody, and it's like a humanoid type creature, that's walking around pressing buttons or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of creepy because I'm like, okay, I got to come forward to this door, interact with it, open it up, and deal with this person, and my gosh, even in VR, for the first time, I'm more like, it's like,
that's the thing.
Somebody in the other room, Yeah, it was already creepy.
That experience, you're just like, okay, what's gonna happen? And I was really on edge, playing the whole time, because not playing a horror game in VR, didn't know what to expect, And the funny thing was too is, so I get all said and done, right? My youngest son, my 14-year-old, comes running into the room, and I hear him. I have my headset on, I can hear him, and I hear him click the light of the ceiling fan, the room that I'm on. So I no more than finish up the demo, take off the VR, and the house is all black. Every light in the house is off, and my wife and kids are all home. So he had gotten my wife and my daughters all to hide in the house and try to jump out and scare me.
Oh, great.
And so I'm like walking through the house trying to turn on the lights, and find out where they're at, because I didn't know where anybody was at. So I'm like, hey, honey, where you at? Where you at? And nobody's answering, and I walk down the living room and flick the light on and nobody's in there. And I'm like, oh, okay, she must have went upstairs, walk in, turn the hallway light on and go upstairs. And I walk into the room and it's so dark. And one of the kids tried to jump out and scare me, and which it didn't, but because I was already on guard, the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, geez, the house is all dark,
Yeah.
But, so that was kind of entertaining, but another game, Gunny, I got to check out was Mech Warrior 5 it's on the Epic Store. So this is a little bit newer game. Came out
on console as well, or did it just come out on Epic? I think
it's PC only.
Okay.
It's on the Epic Store only, and Ghost Nico picked this up, and I think it came out in the beginning of December. And he's like, Mayo, you got to get this game if you like mechs and controlling mechs and stuff like that. It just makes you feel awesome, like you're like Godzilla walking around. You're tromping through these cities and you're knocking the buildings down and stuff like that. And so yeah, this game is, you start off with, you have this little enemy, basically somebody kind of, I can't remember if they betray you or not, but basically it becomes like an enemy faction and you're fighting against, and you're kind of on the run, and you're in this ship and you have a mech, and so basically you become like a mercenary for hire. And so they put you on different missions, and say one mission is go to this mining planet and you have to protect this group of miners, and you go in there and there's like these bandits that are roughing up the town and destroying all the mining equipment. So you have to go in and take out these giant mechs and stuff like that, and they're tanks and they have helicopters, and you go in and you work your way to them, and you have a loadout that you go in with. You can choose different kind of mechs. So you can have a fast mech, you can have a slow mech, and like a fast mech will have maybe lighter weaponry and stuff, but no missiles, but more laser oriented. So they would do damage and they don't really have a limited ammunition, where a heavier mech, you could do like long range missiles and short range missiles and lasers, but your long range missiles and your short range missiles, you have a limited ammo capacity. So you can only use so much, so you're going into a mission, you have to know how much ammo you want to use. You got to kind of watch that. The hardest thing for me in this game so far, I'm finding is on the controls. Like how a mech will turn at the waist. Like you could say like shift, you can almost spin yourself 90 degrees one way or the other.
Right.
And when you do this, your mech can still walk straight, but you can turn 90 degrees.
Sort of like tank controls then.
Yes. So you have to learn to control your legs and get your legs underneath you, because you may not be facing the direction that you're walking or you're looking. So when you hit W, like on the keyboard, that's like your throttle. So you can leave it go. You don't have to hold down W to keep moving. So once you kind of push W a couple times, it builds your throttle up and you can leave it. And then you just have to know to turn your legs to the direction you're facing periodically, because you can get yourself thrown off. You think you're going to turn, or you think you're walking a certain direction, and you're not. Especially if you're in the cockpit view. There's different views you can have. You can have in the cockpit and outside of the cockpit. And I've been liking the outside view because I can see my legs and the orientation of kind of how things are. But yeah, I mean, you go through it and you had basically fight different mechs, and you basically just try to get through the mission without taking up as much damage as possible, or not take as much damage. So what happens is at the end of the mission, you'll get a payout. Say you get 50,000 credit for doing this mission, but you may have taken 200,000 credit in damage. So you just pretty much lost 150,000 credits in the game. And I find it really hard to dodge. Basically, you're going to take damage no matter what. And it seems like every time I go into a mission, I'm losing money so far. I think it does turn around. I got to a point about 4 missions in, and you get another pilot and another mech with you. So now there's 2 of us. So
I was going to ask you about that. If you got any other mechs that help you.
Yeah, and you can get a total of 4. Like you and 3 other ones will help you. And as the game progresses, because there's slots for it, you can see it, and you can see their loadouts, and you can pick what mechs they take, because you start buying more mechs, and you got to buy the parts, and you got to pay for all the repairs for each mission that you go through. So I can see it's a lot like BattleTech. If you remember,
I was going to ask like the way you kind of describe some BattleTech features.
Yeah, it's a lot like BattleTech, except for the fact instead of turn-based like XCOM, it's more first-person shooter. That's probably the best way to explain this game. And then I did get a chance with Ghost Nico to do the multiplayer.
I wasn't sure if it had that or not.
So, yeah, we can do the campaign together. Like if I joined him, I can join his campaign, and I can power one of his mechs instead of an AI pilot, and I can just jump on it, and we can do it together. And it looks like you can do up to 4 people.
Oh, cool.
Because how it shows the 4 slots for you and the 3 AI. I just replace an AI guy. So I think we can play with 4 people, because even when you invite, it shows a whole list of people you can invite to the game, and you can click on multiple people. So I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to get like 4 people in there and doing a mission, which would be kind of cool. Like,
I'm curious if you have to unlock the 4 first, or can you just do it right off the bat?
You do have to do a couple missions in to get the multiplayer unlocked. So I think it's like the 3rd mission in. It gives you the ability to unlock multiplayer. It told me. It said, okay, now you have a multiplayer unlocked, and you can go in and play with a friend. And it explained that I can jump in their game and take over one of their mechs, and it helps their progress. It doesn't help mine though, or vice versa. If he joined my game, it would help my progress and not his.
I see.
So. But there's also a quick play option where you can just go in and you can pick a mission, you can pick a difficulty, and you go in there and you can just shoot it out. It doesn't cost you anything in your game or anything like that. So we played around with that mode.
Sweet.
And it was a lot of action. You're fighting like 4 or 5 different mechs, and they want you to go destroy, like, say, some buildings, and there's other mechs guarding it. So you when you drop down, you're walking out, and it was Nico and myself and 2 AI-controlled mechs. So there's 4 of us on our team. And then we were going in there, and there was like 6 different mechs attacking us, and we're shooting them and maneuvering around them. But there's also little tanks and helicopters that shoot rockets at you and stuff, so that you're getting hit from all different directions, and you're trying to turn and shoot and take those out also and stuff, and watch your ammo. So it's a lot more of a simulator than it is an action game though. So it gives you that element of action, but you got to monitor, your energy, your heat. You can't overheat. You got to watch your loadout, how much ammo you use, and stuff like that. And you can start pinpoint hitting enemies on their arms, where their guns are at, and you can actually knock their arms off, and they can't use that gun anymore. And you just go through and
sweet, man. It sounds like it sounds like they're meeting the fans' expectations for the latest installment in this game.
Yeah, so good stuff. Another game, Jesus, so this one's for you to talk about a little bit too with me, is played some Beat Saber, and
oh yeah, that's what else I played
on the PC. I guess it's Jesus and I talked about this a little bit. I had a new update when they did the day update, and I have what they call a 360 mode. And so what this does is, like how in Beat Saber, when you're standing still and the blocks are coming at you from straight on, they start that straight on starts to shift to your left or to your right. Yeah. So you have to turn, and you got to start watching your left, and you got to start watching your right a little bit. Now they don't like randomly have one come from your left, one come from the right. It's like the whole group starts coming from that direction. If that explains it well enough. So like where they're coming from will start shifting to the right, and so you got to turn to your right, and then the beat will keep going, and you're still cutting. Then it kind of starts gradually going to the left, and maybe you're completely facing to the left. And there's different degree of difficulties and stuff like that. Been playing a lot of it. I'm about halfway through it now, Jesus. I'm getting up to the expert level songs.
Ooh.
Wow.
And so I feel like I'm getting that accomplishment. I'm trying to catch you, Jesus.
Good luck.
You show I have some rhythm at least.
Good luck. So I'm gonna say, dude, this shit's tough.
Hey, Jesus, I got a question regarding that on Beat Saber.
What's up?
Because we've only had like where we played it on like 2 different sessions, and that's where, you know, when like the wall things are coming at you.
Yeah.
And I think I understand, like, basically you just kind of crouch and then you stand back up again, right? Is that what you're supposed to do when those walls come at you?
The ones that are coming above you, yeah, you're supposed
to
crouch.
Just crouch, and then I notice it's like, yeah, because that's one's kind of cool, where I think I was turning my, left and right ones to, like, too far down, where I'm like, oh, it's just my body that needs to crouch, and not too far down. Like I was going way down, like I was ready to lift some cases at work or something.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta get pretty low because they do come pretty low, but sometimes you do have to swing your Beat Saber underneath those walls because they'll have blocks down there.
Yeah, like one's going left and one's going right. Yeah.
And I think too, if you don't dodge those walls, it costs you a lot. So if you watch, it took me a while to figure this out, but where the beats come from, there's like a platform, right, Gunny? And underneath that platform, there's a little white bar. And when that bar hits 0 is when your round's over. That means you lost. So if you have like a bad cut or something like that, it takes a bigger chunk out of that bar. But if you start building the combo back up, that bar will fill back up and will allow you to make a mistake later on. But what happens is, I think when those walls or whatever come at you, and if you don't duck or something like that, it really depletes that bar and it's going to cause you to fail the mission.
It also makes you lose your combo streak when you hit the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's what I thought. I mean, I was ducking and trying to,
sometimes you have to move to the left or to the right.
Those were pretty easy. I think the whole ducking thing was, okay, duck, stand back up, but cut at the same time. That one's tricky
if you don't have your camera set up right and it doesn't catch how tall you are or something. It really fucks with you.
Yeah, I noticed that because I'm like, hey, I ducked. Why did it not capture it?
Because it thinks you're shorter, it thinks you're taller than what you are, or shorter than what you are.
Do you have a lot of setup for your camera on that end of it? On the Oculus, when I go to the menu for Beat Saber, you hit one button and it automatically adjusts your height. Like it just knows.
You can sync it on the PlayStation, but at the same time, there's a setting in the
menus. It's like the option button, but again, you do have to be standing so the PlayStation Eye camera thing does see you, so you can't be too close or too far away from it.
There's also a setting in the menu. You can go into the menu and set how high you are, how tall you are, whatever the fuck.
Okay, I didn't know that was all in there. I think I just dove right into the VR.
But Beat Saber, that mode is not available on the PlayStation VR.
I did look it up and it did say hopefully it's coming soon, but they didn't know for sure. If they were capable of doing that kind of tracking or not.
One game that I did pick up this week that I forgot to completely talk about is that game Audica, Mayo.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot like Beat Saber, but
this game.
You have guns or whatever. So it's actually really fucking cool because it's a lot like Beat Saber, but no, there's not a lot of that dodging and shit, Gunny or not. But they do have like pretty cool songs. A lot of songs some of them are from Beat Saber itself, so some of the same music is from Beat Saber, but they do have a lot of licensed music as well. So they do have artists like Nicki Minaj and fucking just like known rappers and artists and shit.
It was like Post Malone,
Kendrick Lamar, Post Malone, Post Malone, Post Malone is in there, and all that good shit. But yeah, so pretty much they have all these cool songs or whatever, and you're shooting these beats. What you're doing is you're shooting with your wands, right? You got the left one and the right one, the red gun and the blue gun, and the beat will come in. And as the beat hits, you got to shoot it or whatever. You got to shoot it at the right time. And it's made by the people who made like Guitar Hero, so they're pretty good about rhythm games or whatever. They know what they're doing, and it's fucking interesting, dude. How they pulled it off. It's a fun fucking game. You're just like sitting there, and you're just shooting these fucking blocks. They're not blocks. They're like orbs, kind of. And then sometimes you have to shoot it and like follow it up or follow it down or follow it to the left or follow the arc to the right or to the left. Sometimes they do the same thing as they do in Beat Saber, where in the campaign where they tell you, okay, now you have to move your arms 600 meters. They hit me with that. They hit me with that the other day when I was playing it. It's like, move your arms 700 meters. I'm like, oh, fuck, not you too, motherfucker.
So what, were you shooting like a gangster or something?
You gotta pretty much just swing your fucking arms. Even whatever, you gotta just move your arms a lot or whatever as you're fucking shooting.
You'll see these in Beat Saber Gunny. They were like my nightmare.
They're
I think I had one the other day. It was like I needed to do like 900
Yeah,
meters.
900 is the worst, dude.
Like, what? I'm like, how? And the song's like really fast, so you're like swinging like a madman and just looking ridiculous.
900 is the fucking worst. But yeah, they got that in Audica as well, where you have to hit certain fucking movements or whatever. And there's like little, there's a cool like thing where like you can, as you're shooting the guns or whatever, like there's sometimes where just the red ones are coming in, so you're shooting with your left hand. But when you're doing that, you can press like the circle or the X face buttons on the move controllers, and the dude will start spinning the gun in his right hand, or he'll like drop the gun and it'll drop and it'll start dropping, and then you let the button go and it'll like gravitate back towards your fucking hand real quick, so you could do like tricks and shit to do like multipliers or combos. It like gives you like a little boost or whatever for your combo, So it gives you like extra points. So it's fucking pretty sick, dude.
I checked it out. I can't remember if I downloaded it or if it was just I just saw how much it was. But another helpful tip, if you're playing alongside a friend or family member, when they're playing Beat Saber, just watch your where your head is. You might get clocked.
Yeah, you're gonna get hit.
Yeah, definitely want to stand back.
Dinged right in the head. Yeah,
because they don't know what the fuck where you're at, or they can't hear you or see you, so you're just swinging their fucking.
I was like,
arms.
ouch. Those PlayStation Move controllers are really something.
Yeah.
It brings back memories of back in the Nintendo Wii days. I remember one time we were down in the living room and we're doing the bowling.
Oh yeah.
And the person bowling was standing up, and people behind him were on the couch. And like one of my kids went to lean forward, and somebody was bowling, and they went to swing back and smack him right in the face with the Wii controller.
Damn.
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like busted their face open or something. I can't remember exactly, but something like that. I know my 14-year-old likes to get up right by somebody when they're in the VR, and he'll like tap their shoulder or something like that. But I'm like, look, you're gonna get decked one of these times because somebody's swinging, playing Beat Saber or whatever, and you're trying to sneak in there.
Yeah. But the game came with I think I bought the one that came with the Season 1 pass, or it's called the 2019 pass.
Mm-hmm.
So it added like 15 new songs to it, which I don't know what songs they are, but I just downloaded a bunch of them. And then there's a Season 2 pass for this year, the 2020 pass, I think, for Audica. So I like the way they're doing that with Season Pass instead of doing the music packs like Beat Saber, where they're charging you for different soundtracks. They're just giving you like a whole pass, like, hey, pay us $20 or $15 for this year, and we'll give you like 10
That's I think the biggest downfall about Beat Saber is the soundtracks get old really fast. Like you play them enough times, then you want more, and then you gotta buy these packs, or I think the Green Day songs actually individually, and they're $2 a piece. Which $2 for level
adds up though.
But you're talking a bunch. You're talking a lot of different artists, and down the road eventually. You're going to have a lot more. I'm glad I have it on the PC where I can just mod it and just do whatever. I think I have like 600 songs right now. Wow, so I can do like a custom song, and it just has these custom ones that are already in there.
Yeah, I heard
on top of that,
they've added the Witcher songs.
Oh, probably. I can just do a playlist. I could type in 80s, and it would give me all 80s music. It'll give me like 180 songs. Just like in Spotify.
You just be playing Wham
toss
all day.
Toss a coin to your Witchers now on Beat
Boingo,
Saber,
boingo, and Wham.
There you go.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, Mayo. Go play that on fucking Beat
Saber. Stream it.
Yeah. Anyways, what else you play, Mayo?
That's about it for me. I played a little bit of World War Z with all you guys and spent a lot of time on that. The only thing I can really add in World War Z, though, is I did find myself in long gaming sessions getting kind of tired of it. Like I would be having a great time and I'd be with friends, but once you say like 3 or 4 hours in, it just becomes just shooting zombies after a while. I'm just kind of like, all right, it's time to change this up a little bit. Yeah. I don't know if you guys felt that way or not, but because it's different environments, but it's just a lot of shooting.
Yeah, it is. That's when it's time to turn up the difficulty, though.
Yeah, that's when it is time to turn up the
difficulty. Right, and everybody needs, that's where you work as a team, and communicate and say, all right, do this, do that,
We did get to do the horde mode on there. I don't know if you guys have tried that yet or not.
No.
Where you have like you put up defenses and you pretty much are in just one spot the whole time. And there's wave after wave. Like you clear the wave and you get credits and you run back and you can buy more ammo. You buy like machine gun turrets or auto turrets, the electric fences, and you can put them down in spots, and you basically just have to last so long, and then like the wave will change where it comes from, and you'll have like a fence you'll have to protect, just like in the game. Like, hey, you have to protect the helicopter and stuff like that. They'll give you a fence with a health, and you got to protect that fence. So you got to kind of shift your priorities toward that fence, to protecting that fence, and you just try to go as long as you can with a group of 4 people or whoever's with you, and AI. Kind of a neat mode.
Yeah, I haven't tried that.
Something I think Pinpoint Red would really like. He likes that horde mode, like in Gears 5 and stuff. I think it's something that he would really like. So he should check this out on Game Pass, because I know it's on the Xbox Game Pass. He should try at least a horde mode, because I think he'd enjoy it.
No.
Yeah,
if he hasn't.
And again, let me emphasize on higher difficulties, because just like a regular, it's just going to be like, okay, this game seems plain, but turn that difficulty up, man. Work as a team. It's a ton of fun. Then it is almost like a Gears on harder difficulties, but not as detailed, obviously.
But that's it.
And yeah.
What about you, Gunny? What have you been playing yet? Anything else we didn't hit on?
Besides PlayStation, let me think here. There is, I played that trial of A Plague Tale: Innocence on Xbox today.
Uh-huh.
I think it's about 30 minutes. It seems like you're just playing the opening portion of the game, where you and your father, and you play as this, I'm going to say she's a 16-year-old girl. And without spoiling, like, even like that portion of it, like, it seemed like a lot of like almost like, what game am I thinking of? Like Assassin's Creed type gameplay, where, stealth mechanics, just teaching you how to, as you go through with your little brother, and how to get around enemies stealthily by, throwing rocks at metal items so the enemies go towards it. So I think it's just trying to teach you that portion of it. But overall, I mean, the game looked pretty good, and the story seems intriguing, especially from what I watched from several different trailers. So once this game like gets down in price, I think I'll definitely be picking it up. So, because I want to learn more about, like me as that 16-year-old girl, like my father, and who my mother is, and my brother as well. So, game seems pretty cool. So, yeah, I think it's like the demo's out on everything. See, the other game I've been playing a lot, I know I texted Jesus about this earlier, was The Outer Worlds. I've been playing it more and more. Like, each time I'll sit down and actually play it for like 2 hours at a pop, So I've got my 2 companions unlocked now. I've got my, obviously, Parvati and Felix. And so, yeah, the game looks pretty damn good. I've made it now to Rosewood, which I forgot what planet. It's like on that same planet that you land on. It's just a different, like, base section. And man, talk about a well-written game. Some of the dialogue is just hilarious, where, your choices of just, yeah, okay, or I really don't care. It's like, it's almost like the same thing, but just with that smug answer. And with like some of those missions where, you go to Rosewood, you go to this planet, it's like, all right, you got to get this research, right? Go talk to this doctor. All right, let me go talk to the doctor first, right? And then, or the scientist, and he's like, hey, yeah, so I left my little sidekick, he's over at that, like, the secret research base. So yeah, if you find him, well, what happened? Well, shit got crazy, and like these creatures came out, and we just ran, and your options are just to either say, all right, fine, I'll go find him, or you just abandoned him, like he was a dog or something. Again, with the great options, and then, like, as you talk more and more to him, like about what research he was doing, you find out it was about like something like toothpaste or something, it's just corny, but not in like a Borderlands way. It feels different, a different kind of stupid, corny, like the way it's written, and so, yeah, I'm just like shooting lots of enemies, going through the story, man. I know I'm definitely going to finish it. hopefully here before the end of the month. So far it's right up my alley. Just enjoying it. Have you been playing it more, Jesus, at all?
No, I haven't, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, so I definitely want to get more unlocked. I see I've got some kind of mech on my ship, and there's been references. I think his name is Sam. I don't know if he just kind of stays on the ship or if he cleans the ship or whatever, but hopefully he can be a companion as well.
He can. You have to find
cool,
a
man.
way to fix it now.
Yeah, I like how you can give each enemy like different weapons and armor and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
So the only I gave everybody like the ultimate armor that I found, from enemies that I've killed, except for Parvati. I just didn't give her a helmet so I can tell the difference between her and Felix. Where I'm like, wait, who's who? I'm using their abilities. As I run into more enemies, where I think you have to see where your companion is, right, compared to that enemy. Then you can either press left on the D-pad for Parvati or right on the D-pad for Felix, right? And then they just kind of do their ultimate on him, whether it's like a drop kick or they come in with the hammer, do like this ultimate hammer strike on him, which is very helpful, especially when you're trying to fight multiple enemies at once. But as that default, they're still kind of fighting the enemies. So yeah, this game's a lot of fun.
Nice.
Picking up tons of stuff, There's plenty of ammo in the game. There's never like a shortage of anything that I found. So,
yeah, there's always ammo in the game.
There's ammo everywhere. So it's cool. I don't have to go search this stuff out. It feels like a mini Fallout game, but just more modern, well written.
Nice.
Let's see, what else have I played? One other game. I know that I brought this up earlier. Me and May were talking about it, talking about games of the generation. It's a game I play, again, every day or every other day. It's just a little bit of more Minecraft. Sure. So building my castle, man, it's my creative game, Besides my skitty skylines, I get into Minecraft and just chill, play some cool piano music and build away.
I feel you.
So, yeah, that's all I've been playing, guys. That's
awesome.
All this stuff.
Cool. All right, well, It's news time. Let's get into the news, ladies and gentlemen, of the week. Get into some PS5 news. PS5 DualShock 5 leak confirms one new feature we suspected was coming, Gunny.
What did we know that was coming on the controller?
Well, you remember how last week or a couple weeks ago they unveiled the back button plug shit, the thing you plug into the bottom and it gives.
I thought that was fake when I first saw it.
Well, apparently now the PS5 is going to have back buttons.
Okay.
So yeah, they're going to add 2 more buttons to the back of the controller.
Sweet.
What do you think of that?
I generally don't use them, even with the Pro controller.
What if they're
Unless
mandatory?
I played more Battlefield, then I would use it.
What if they're mandatory back buttons?
Yeah, like a new set of buttons.
Yeah. L3, R3 now instead of
I'm old, guys. I can only
wait.
L3 up to so many buttons.
L3, R3 is already the thumbsticks. What if it's L4, R4? No,
you know what? I'm a little worried now because there are, like you said, I'm thinking ahead. There's games that are going to require it. They're going to put it in there.
Yeah, new buttons, Gunny. Gotta get used
I can't
to it, bro.
chew gum and walk at the same time, so don't expect me to be paying for these games that that require all 8 damn buttons on the PS4 controller now. Disable them, please. PlayStation. No.
Moving on to more news. Fortnite and FIFA 19 were the kings of in-game trading in 2019. It says here players spent more money on both titles than on any other game over the last year. It says here about 80% of all revenue earned came from in-game free games transactions. Fortnite was the leader. It says here Epic Games Battle Royale alone recorded revenues of $1.8 billion across all platforms. In the paid premium category of games, FIFA 19 took first place with a cash generation of $786 million in microtransactions last year. Second place went to Call of Duty Modern Warfare with $625 million in microtransactions last year. And so here's the top free-to-play games of 2019, followed by the top 10 premium games of 2019. So, of course, in the free-to-play category, the number one game that made the most revenue last year was Fortnite. Number 2 was Dungeon Fighter Online, which I don't know what the fuck that is. Number 3 is Honor of Kings. Number 4, League of Legends. Number 5, Candy Crush Saga, which is still crazy that's number 5. Holy shit.
It is, isn't it?
6 is Pokemon Go. 7 is Crossfire, which is coming to the Xbox this year, Crossfire X. Number 8, Fate Grand Order, which is number 8. Number 9, Game for Peace, which is PUBG. But in China.
In China, right?
It's known as Game for Peace. Number 10, Last Shelter Survival. That's the top 10 free-to-play games of last year that made the most revenue in the world. Here's the top 10 premium games. So premium means that they're paid-for games, so they're not free to play, I guess. FIFA 19, number 1. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, number 2. GTA 5 in the number 3 spot. It's crazy as fuck, too. FIFA 20. Look at EA raking in all the money.
Yeah.
They get you to pay for the game, and then you still pay them for the game even more.
Yeah.
Even for last year's game. FIFA 20 is still number 4. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is still number 5.
That $20 watch.
NBA 2K19, another EA title, number 6.
slot
Oh, yeah, that's a
machines.
2K title. So that's a 2K title. NBA Live is the EA one.
They got to cash into.
The Division 2, Ubisoft, number 7. Rainbow Six Siege is number 8. Ubisoft once again. Borderlands 3 came in at number 9. And The Sims 4 came in at number 10.
Back to EA.
Back to EA. So there's 3 EA titles up there. That's wild.
I'm looking at these, like, when I look at, like, Sims 4, FIFA 2, I think crack, Just like, that's what those are.
But when I see they made $1.8 billion across all platforms.
Jesus.
Holy cow.
So much money.
I know, but hey, what do you expect? It's like $20 a skin in Fortnite, I think.
So much
But
money.
my son is
dude.
buying them. I'm like, holy
to
cow.
wrap your head around how much money that fucking is right there, dude. Holy shit. So much money on a free-to-play title. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Amazing.
Fuck,
And
this is
you look
ridiculous.
back and you see, like, there are different Star Wars events they do with Fortnite.
Yeah, and no wonder they couldn't afford to do those because we'll pay you
It's
$100
almost
million to
unheard
do
of,
this.
but, to think a licensed thing like
Star Wars, if anything, dude, in a game, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's fucking
But when you're
wild.
number one, when you're
You do
Fortnite, you're like the star, then of course, why not?
You're the most known
Let's-
game in the world.
Let's make money together, guys.
In other news,
Disney got together with Epic.
Respawn CEO is now taking over DICE LA, and they plan to change the studio name, and they are working on an unannounced game. That's right, Gunny. So Respawn Entertainment CEO and co-founder Vince Zampella will be soon taking on a new role under the EA umbrella. He'll now be the head of DICE LA. The change will happen this year in 2020, and Zampella says that a studio name change and an unannounced game are already in the cards. It says here, under Zampella, there are plans to expand and launch an original, as yet unrevealed game. The company will remain separate from Respawn, and Zampella says, likely will drop the DICE name. So goodbye, DICE LA. That sucks.
Oh,
It is unknown at the time what DICE LA will be renamed to. So it's always been a support studio kind of for the DICE in Stockholm, Sweden. That's the main DICE people. They're like the King DICE. LA DICE was kind of like just a support team.
right.
That's where DICE was originally founded, was in Stockholm, Sweden. So
I remember
their
that.
main headquarters are there. So they'll still be around. Zampella says that the new studio name, he wants to give the developer a new image. We want people to say, this is a destination you can go and make new content. As for Respawn, Zampella is still the head of the studio. However, the different branches of the Respawn are now being overseen by different members of a leadership team. So, there you go. Pretty much like he's going to still be running, he could still call the shots over at Respawn, but now he has his own actual separate, EA is like, yo, motherfucker, you done 2 hits in a row. You got Apex out. You got motherfucking Star Wars out. Wow,
Yep.
you've proven yourself, motherfucker.
Pretty much.
You deserve the studio. Fix DICE. Here you go. We'll give you this shitty studio in LA that we don't know what the fuck to do with. We're gonna close it anyways. Here you go. It's yours now. So we'll see what he does. I wonder what he's working on. I wonder what the fucking type of game he's making.
Another shooter. How about that? That's almost
Hopefully
like
it's good.
a given.
So here we go. The Golden Flute 4. The Flute of Immortality was made by a 12-year-old Rick Brewster back in 1994, Gunny. It says here, Rick Brewster is the creator of freeware graphics editor Paint.net. But back in the early 90s, he was a precocious young developer of video games. One of those games made when he was only 12 was the Golden Flute 4, The Flute of Immortality. Until recently, Brewster thought this game was gone forever. The only copy was given away to a cousin and then lost. But earlier this month, he saw Macaw, a streamer who specializes in retro games, playing it during a dive into obscure DOS game hosted on the Internet Archive. Though Macaw wasn't super impressed by a lo-fi quest for glory made by a 12-year-old, Brewster was thrilled to see his work had somehow survived and been uploaded onto the Internet. He's since explained a bit of the history behind the project in a tweet thread. So, yeah, that's fucking wild.
Yeah,
Think about that, dude. You made a game back when you were 12. You like fucking lost it or whatever. That's
and then you just have to find it. You streamed.
Some dude streaming it. It's fucking crazy talk. You know what I mean? That's cool though. That's a good feel-good story right there.
You know, even if it was like one of his friends that were like, remember that game you always talked about?
Yeah, shitty-ass game you made, dude.
Yeah, the crummy fucking
shitty fucking game you fucking
shovelware
made.
game, whatever. Yeah.
And you look at the screenshot, like the name is all written like a 12-year-old.
Yeah,
it's
like
all kind of hard to
12-year-old.
read, scratched up, kind of.
It's like, yeah, like early PC. Yeah.
Anyways, modders will bring Skyrim's beloved gaming grandma to the game this month. Says here, Shirley Curry, the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim superfan, who is a little more mature than all of us, will come to the game as an NPC follower sometime very soon this year. Maybe even this month, Gunny. Curry is 83 years old, and sometimes called the Gamer Grandma. And her love for the lore of Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls is as true as any fan of any age. But last year, Curry, in that unvarnished way that older people often put things, speculated that she would be 88 if and when the Elder Scrolls 6 launches, and that might be too late. So, Elder Scrolls 6 was announced by Bethesda back in 2018, E3. She thinks she might make it another 5 years. She might not. She doesn't know yet, So she's worried about that.
Never know. She
worried.
would tell me to buy that on PlayStation VR.
Yeah. So, now a bunch of fans are getting together, and they're going to immortalize her into the game. So, there you go. So
that's a great community.
Yeah, so pretty much they ended up writing a bunch of lines. So she's going to record for herself. She's going to record the lines, the voiceover that her character's going to do. And they said that they pretty much took her same personality. They didn't change her personality in the game or nothing. She's the same type of person she is in real life. And so there you go.
Man, that's amazing.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's cool for her family. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're gonna always be able to look at that, as long as they download this shit or whatever. But none of them are PC gamers. We don't play that PC shit. Fuck your PC, grandma. We're not big steamers. Xbox. And
when I played this game 5
all the
years
way.
ago, I remember Shirley.
Yeah, remember Shirley, guys. Our homegrown Shirley, the grandma gamer. Anyways, moving on to more news. These are the biggest PC gaming predictions for the next decade. What the fuck is this? Let's look at these crazy stories. So this is one of the predictions right here. Riot becomes a new Blizzard. They're fucking crazy. No way. How would Riot become the new Blizzard, guys?
Yeah, I don't see that one.
I don't see that one happening. Another one. BioWare fades away. Do you guys really think BioWare is done? I think they could still come back. They still have one more card.
Their next game has to be really good.
They still have one more chance, I feel like. They have such goodwill with the people that They have like one more chance. Like if anything, if I was them, I would announce like a Mass Effect remaster or something, just to like get a little bit more goodwill back. You know what I mean? Just, hey guys,
Right.
we're remastering the games that you guys love. Remember the games we made and you guys love so much? We're remastering all of them. They're coming to you remastered.
On one game to buy. You'll put all 3 Mass Effects in one disc or download and all
Anyways,
remastered.
it says here VR finally breaks through and VR becomes a thing. I could see that happening in the next 10 years.
Yeah, I feel like right now it's been picking up because of the holidays and stuff, and there's
definitely.
multiple people in my work that have picked it up, and they're like, "Oh, this is so cool," you know, and they're really impressed.
Ray tracing in 4K will become the new standard. No shit, of course that'll be the new standard. What stupid prediction that is. PC hardware advances will slow way down, so they're saying that PC won't like do the leaps that it did this last decade. Which I sort of agree with that. They're not going to do the crazy ass leaps from like this last decade, but they're still going to be way more advanced from the beginning of the decade to the end. I mean, you're going to see some crazy differences by the time 2030 comes around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
2030 is going to come around. We're going to see some crazy shit in VR, I think. It's going to be all VR. Fucking VR and augmented reality. And it says here that the most popular game is from a genre we've never even heard of. And I agree. I think that, honestly, Facebook is something up their sleeve. I honestly think that they're trying to make the fucking Oasis from Ready Player One. There's something about it where it's just in my head where I think they've invested so much money in VR and Oculus and shit that, like...
Yes.
What else? What's the next step for Facebook? You can't sign... I mean, if you've already got most of the people in the world signed up to your social network...
You've got to go to the next step.
What's the next step? And that's putting them all together in a virtual fucking world so they could talk to each other.
A while back on the Oculus Store, which is owned by Facebook, they had that Facebook world that's coming soon. It's
I'm telling you, it's going to be the fucking future, Mayo. Something like that.
It's going to be a social app, and it's going to be...
And you know who can get that done right? Facebook, because you're already on Facebook. You know what I mean?
Right, and you've got to go to that next step because, you know, if you just stay...
You just stay a social network, you're going to die off eventually, you know, like some other social network.
Be the next thing, right?
Yeah,
so they have to be the next thing after that, which is, like you said, is going to be VR.
It's called Facebook Horizon.
Yeah, see, I just know they're working on the fucking Oasis, dude. They have to be working on it. There's going to be a thing.
Guys, I do kind of have a prediction where, you know, now that I have this PSVR...
Oh, shit, okay.
And... You know, one of the things that I might have brought this up with just Jonathan Hall at one time, but, you know, when I think Google and not so much their streaming service, but I always said, like, maybe Tesla might have it, you know, which they don't yet. But I was always thinking there's going to be that next, maybe like something to do with the glasses, you know, instead of like an entire headset. You know, that might be years away. Where people will say, "Oh, I'm not going to buy this entire headset thing," you know, but they've got to integrate something into glasses. That's my next prediction. Maybe in the next 10 years, I'd say.
Maybe not into glasses, but something's going to happen, dude. Something's going to happen.
Smaller,
Apple will be the one that figures it out. Where they're going to make an eye contact or something that you can put in your fucking eyeball, and that's your phone.
Yeah,
like, or hey, you know how we can put your phone on your wrist on your smartwatch and you get your notifications? What if now we've invented this contact lens you can put on your eyeball? Or if you don't like contacts, you could wear these glasses. It's cool, and pretty much you'll get your notifications on your eyeball, and they're see-through. It doesn't distract you while you're driving. It knows when you're driving or whatever. We see what you see or whatever. And you can take you can see your messages privately. No one's going to see your messages ever again. All your shit's come in private. You see pictures, whatever you want to look at, the internet, on your eyeball. It's going to happen. It's going to fucking happen, dude.
Yes.
It's the next step. It's the logical step. But what the fuck else can you do at this point?
And like you said it could be like a contacts thing, or just maybe something we see like in a sci-fi movie where it's just like a something that looks similar to like a motherboard with the wires running through it, and it's just like maybe a Star Trek thing, and you just put it like a sticker on the side of your temple,
Inside your head,
near your eyes.
maybe. Yeah, maybe near your eyes.
Straight to your brain.
Someone's going to figure
You
out
don't
that,
have
and
to
I think the
insert-
ones that are going to figure it out, Gunny, is going to be Samsung and Apple.
Yeah.
Because they're
You've
the ones
got-
that'll benefit the most from it. If Apple can come up with this and be the one that comes out with it and invents it and has a patent on it and they can sell that patent to other companies and shit, dude, boom, like, it's done.
You know what I think? What's his name? Not Curry. What's the Apple guy?
Tim Cook.
Tim Cook, right? And I think like him and Google, these guys, they just hire like
They
the
do that
brightest
shit.
and
They
the
got
most
crazy
brilliant people.
fucking engineers, too. They got thousands of engineers that are crazy smart that can figure this shit out. They do.
Yeah.
They will. I'm telling you, that's why I'm thinking Facebook is going to create the Oasis, and next thing you know, we're going to be walking around with the fucking notifications in our eyeballs. So when we're wearing our VR headsets in the Oasis, we're still going to be able to read our text messages, dude. It's going to pop up.
Right? I can see like this chick
Yeah.
walking down the street, and it's like, she's single.
Oh, she's on Tinder, Gunny.
Hey, she is. Let me
She's
poke
on
her,
Tinder.
but not real life poke her. I meant like
Poke.
poke, as in like press the button poke. Anyway, I'm going too far. My wife's over here. She's
Your
like,
wife's gonna see a shoe flying across the screen and hit Gunny in the head right now.
kind of like my kid did with the PSVR Move controller. Whack.
All right, moving on to some more news. Let's skip some stories here. Blah blah blah. What is this shit here at the end? Valve's canceled Portal prequel revealed for the first time. Okay, so they had a prequel to its 2007 game Portal, and this will be revealed for the first time. Wow.
Yeah, I put this in there. I thought it was interesting.
Hmm.
Or maybe it was you, Mayo, that may have sent this to me. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I sent it to you.
Wow.
Right. What's the new Portal game called?
Half-Life, or no, Portal, or the VR game?
Yeah, the VR game. Isn't it March or
Half-Life,
something?
Half-Life Alex. Is that what you're talking about?
Alex? Yeah.
Yeah, Alex. Yeah. So I thought it was pretty cool that it went to this developer, and they got questions for Valve. Like, hey, well, like obviously you were working on like a Portal 3 or something, But again, they're being, they're choosing their words correctly, by not, spilling anything. But it could have just been more stuff they were going to add to Portal 2, which is a mystery.
Yeah, they're saying that this Portal, or this prequel to Portal, was going to be called Aperture Camera, or something like that. And pretty much what it wasn't like Portal, kind of, but they're saying that to solve the puzzles, you were going to have this camera that you had. So that was your main thing, was this camera. And you would take a picture of an object, and you can shrink the object or increase it in size to solve certain puzzles. And that was the whole mechanic behind the game. Instead of having the portals, you had a camera that can size things differently. So you took a picture of something, and you can make that smaller or bigger.
Yeah, so here why exactly Valve has given Lunchhouse permission to do this isn't known.
No, Lunchhouse is working on one of their new games. Lunchhouse is making a game for Valve.
Right, called Hunt or whatever it's called. Yeah,
it makes sense
Separate.
why it makes sense how they had access to that file, because somehow Valve fucked up and gave them access to that. So that's easily explained why they have access to that information.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool, kind of like how this even leaked. So hopefully we'll find out more in the coming weeks.
All right, let's move on to the next piece of fucking news here. Steam hardware survey gives us a glimpse into the December gaming trends. It says here Steam has published hardware data for the month of December. In case you didn't know, Steam does a hardware survey and records the changes in hardware usage by gamers every month. Since Steam is one of the most popular game applications in the world, it's likely to give the best insights on what PC gamers are using. So, it says here, moving on to the survey. Windows 10 says a massive drop in the share, bringing it to 61.9% from 74.23% last year. Surprisingly, Windows 7 gained 14% of the market, and they are now 33.4% of gamers that are gaming on PC are running Windows 7. Apart from that, all the versions of Windows saw a drop in the market share, But Windows overall still holds 96.86% of the market of gamers.
Of course.
The remaining is split between Linux and Mac OS, which Linux holds 0.67% of gamers, and Mac OS holds 2.47% respectively. DX12, on the other hand, saw a huge bump going from 17.8% to 34.7%. Coming to hardware, NVIDIA has now seen a huge bump in the market share and now holds 80.5% of the market share. The rest is now divided among Intel, which is 7.5%, and AMD, which is 11.9%. That's fucking wild how little AMD has, on the PC side, you know what I mean?
Well, it's because AMD just now is surging again.
Catching
For the
up.
longest time,
Yeah.
they were not relevant.
Intel, however, is dominating when it comes to CPU with a usage of 83.79% market share. Moving to the VR, says here Windows Mixed Reality headsets dropped 0.02%, and they currently sit at 0.08% of the VR market. The most popular VR among Steam users is, of course, the Oculus Rift. Steam does have other interesting stats as well. And so, yeah, let's go to their website and see some more stats here. All right, looking at their stats.
So this, I don't know if you guys ever seen this survey, but they'll ask you if you want to take this survey, and it will scan your computer, and basically they see what hardware you're using, and it uploads it to their database, and they just kind of just see what everybody's using and see where you fit in that group.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, I'm looking at the processors on the PCs.
Your headsets.
16% is AMD and 83% is Intel. As far as VR headsets, the biggest one, of course, is... Which one is that? Wow.
Is that the Valve?
How do you say that? UI? VR? VR?
Huawei? I think, don't they make refrigerators?
They make cell phones and shit.
Oh, okay.
Are they the ones that got banned by Trump or some shit?
Yeah,
they're
isn't
from
that
China.
One? I've seen China
one,
in the
yeah.
Islands in Australia.
They got banned by Trump or something in America, didn't they?
They're over the Pacific Islands.
They have 30% of the VR market.
New Zealand. Obviously.
32% is Oculus Rift. And then right underneath that, the Oculus Rift S is 18% Mayo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mayo, why is Valve Index, what does it say, 18.4, but it's not even out yet, is it?
No.
Yeah, the index is out. It's been out for...
Valve Index is 6.65%.
It's probably been out for like 8 months or so. It's just really expensive.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, it's fucking expensive.
It's like $1,000.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of neat how it breaks down like the Intel CPU speeds from 3.3 gigahertz to 3.6. It's what 21% of the users and stuff.
And the primary display resolution is still 1920 by 1080p.
That's crazy, right?
Well, I know some people that I talk to out like at work from different customers, like, well, I play at the 1920 by 1080 at 144. I don't know, whatever they're throwing out there, but their refresh rate on their monitor or something, but they still prefer the 1080p.
It's because it's easier to run. You know what I mean? You buy a 1080p monitor, your PC can get higher frame rates with that,
I guess it makes sense as far as price, when you look at some of the 144, and I've got the 165, so I'm a little more higher.
You can buy a 1080p monitor for way cheaper than you'd buy a 1440p one.
Yeah, it is like it could be $100 or $300 difference. Makes sense.
And I think too is we probably are using the word gamer kind of loose. This is anybody that has a Steam account that takes a survey.
That's true.
So this could be lower end laptops. It can be kids with lower end laptops.
Oh, yes.
It's a wide variety of hardware you're looking at and a wide variety of PCs.
Yeah, it's all standard, I notice. Video card, GeForce, GTX 1060.
Yeah.
The speeds, 3.3 gigs to 3.69 gigs.
Did you see microphones? 99.99%.
Yeah, microphones. Every fucking computer has a microphone.
Yeah.
No shit.
So next time when you're playing on PC, Jesus, and the guy's not talking to you, you know he's got a
But
microphone.
hey, motherfucker, I know 99.9% of you assholes have microphones out here.
It says it right here. It's
Shut
0.001. You should have it. Turn it on, bitch.
Oh, man.
And free hard drive space, Gunny, you were in this group. You had 100 gig to 249 gig. 22% of the people out there only have that much room left.
Damn. Okay.
But now you're in that 62% that has above 1 terabyte.
I could definitely up my game with that link that you provided in the Discord group too, with the 2 terabytes.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I held back because I'm thinking motherboard first.
Yeah.
But I already know it's going to come with that 2 terabyte, right? I'm going to go all out.
And anyways, moving on to more news. Witcher 3 apparently is going to gain a patch soon on the Switch. This may be to allow you to disable anti-aliasing, which can increase the frame rate closer to 60. In other news, Untitled Goose Game has sold 1 million copies as of a week ago.
Cool.
That's, And another big news, Gunny, Red Dead Redemption 2 has now been listed for the Nintendo Switch.
I saw that, and
the
the people that I follow on Twitter.
It's going to run at 10 frames a second. How the fuck are they going to do this? It's going to be like cartoon graphics. It's going to be fucking like Woody from fucking Toy Story as Arthur Morgan.
You remember the memes when they came out on low settings on PC versus Ultra? It's going to be worse. It's going to show the Lego horse.
I know. I'm thinking like grass, right? Or hair.
Oh
like,
my
how's
god. It's going to be so
what's the tech going to
shitty.
be on that?
Jesus, it's going to be so bad. Wow. Well, anyways.
But it doesn't surprise... I think I even responded to somebody on Twitter that it doesn't surprise me anymore that, what's
Switch.
not coming
Switch
to Switch
is so big. Switch is... Because they got such a market share now. They've outsold the Xbox One, dude. You know what I mean? Like, they're that close to it. They're going to outsell the Xbox One this year, so... No.
Right, so when
Yeah. Didn't they already pass them? Yeah, I think they did.
I think they passed them at the beginning of December.
Yeah.
Remember before, like even, like last year they were like, can we get Fortnite on this thing? Oh, we don't know, so where there's a will, there's a way, right? And when you have money, like Nintendo and they'll get it on there.
Nintendo money. Nintendo money.
Even like Capcom, they put was it Monster Hunter? But it was like a different version, but they're calling it Monster Hunter, just like the one that came out, last year. So, or 2 years, whatever it's been. But they're like, we're going to get a Monster Hunter game on here either way. And then it certainly paid off with their, their exclusives. With their Pokemons and stuff.
All right.
Those selling like hotcakes.
Anyway, it's time to move on to community question of the week. So last week, ladies and gentlemen, wait a minute, you want to do your console bullshit first?
I want to do the console corner real quick because this is the console corner. I love consoles, right? I'm the Xbot. I'm the Sony pony. Guys. Excuse me. Horrible cold. So for your PlayStation Plus games for the month of January 2020, you've got the Nathan Drake collection.
Oh,
that includes.
It's actually pretty good.
Among Thieves, which I believe I played that on PS3.
Get that shit going.
And Drake's Deception. So yeah, you're getting 4 games this month. So besides the Nathan Drake collection, you're also getting a dumb game. It's called Goat Simulator. Boring.
Dumb. Boring.
Yeah, it's been free on other platforms, and
it's been free forever.
If you're 12, I say get this. Really?
They already gave us this game for free like last year?
It feels like he did. I think it might have came out.
Oh wait, that was on Xbox. That was on Xbox. Okay.
He probably said, "Get this. We're trying to get rid of this thing digitally, even."
Yeah.
It's that. Now moving over to the popular Xbox. For your Xbox One game, you get Styx, Shards of Darkness. I don't think I've played any of the Styx games. And so you get 2 games for the Xbox One. You also get Jurassic World Evolution.
Get that shit, yo. Get
so
that
it's
shit.
Not only is that also This is the one that's also on Game Pass. So yeah, Game Pass, claim it for free for your games with gold. Yeah. So then for your backwards compatibility game from your Xbox 360, Tekken 6. Right.
Tekken 6.
So 3 games. Yeah, a lot of games this month.
Cool.
Moving over to the PC and the Evil Epic Store. There's been a lot of games that have gone on this holidays that were free.
Oh, every day they're giving a free game.
Not going to name them all off, but you do get, which this goes all the way through the 9th. So if you're listening through January 9th, Darksiders War Mastered Edition. And also Darksiders 2.
Yeah.
As well as Steep. That's that snowboarding Ubisoft game.
Cool.
Yeah, it's another 3 games from Epic. One other thing I wanted to mention, guys, was I think I may have saw this article, and I haven't claimed my games yet, which is for Twitch Prime members. So if you go onto the PC, probably just go onto your Google Chrome for your Twitch Prime, and or just get the app for Twitch Prime, and you get 10 free games this month. Just going to name off all 10 of those, starting with Dandara. Arnakute, if I pronounce that correctly. Kingdom Newlands. A Normal Lost Phone. Splasher. Enter the Gungeon. Ape Out. Witch Eye. Gato Roboto. And Heave Ho. There you go, guys.
I only know 2 of
I
those
know
games.
3 of
Yeah,
those games.
I know about
Nothing
3 of
else. What the fuck? The other 7 fucking games, I have no idea, but cool, I guess.
Yeah, so just I got like 25 games already on my Twitch Prime.
Enter the Gungeon
some
stands
recognize,
out
some
in that group to me. That game's a pretty good game.
Enter the Gungeon and Ape Out stand out to me, as well as Kingdom Newlands, but besides all that shit.
Both of them are
where's
again, so.
Yeah, Ape Out's a cool game. Somebody in the community asked for us to play it, and I did play it.
Ryan,
I enjoyed it, and it seemed difficult.
I think Ryan asked us to play it.
Yeah, and I did play that. It's more that top-down where you play as this ape, basically, and you're just taking dudes and punching them in the face and destroying them. Yeah, it's very top-down. I don't like that camera for some reason. But it's pretty cool when you walk around a corner, you can take a guy, and he's got a shotgun, and you pick him up. And now he's like just shooting the shotgun wildly. So you pick him up and you'll just point him to where the other guard is, right? And he takes him out. Then you just toss him into him. So it's almost like a double whammy.
Oh, cool.
But I don't know. I can't seem to get past that first level. I'm still picking away at it. So again, that's on Xbox Game Pass.
Anyways, moving on now to community question of the week. Last week, or a couple weeks ago actually, when we asked the show, we had a question for you, ladies and gentlemen. What was the question, Mayo?
Yeah, you asked this question.
Actually, it was Jesus' question, but it was top 5 games of the decade, or just their top game if they couldn't think of 5.
Yeah.
But we wanted to know their top 5 or their number 1 game of the decade.
All right. And I'll start off first here with Marcos Vega. Marcos Vega. This is his top 5 games of the decade, of the last decade, 2010 to 2020. Red Dead Redemption 2, of course, number 1 on the list there. Oh yeah. Forza Horizon 3, that's interesting.
Wow, I don't know why that wasn't mine, but okay.
Gears of War 4, nice. Grand Theft Auto 5 and Batman Arkham City, all awesome fucking games. Fuck yeah. What about you read Joel's list there, Gunny?
So Joel Sebring, his top, well, he's got 4 here. So I'll start off with The Witcher 3.
Nice.
That game's amazing. Resident Evil 2 Remake. That was on a lot of top 10 lists, 2019. Undertale. And Mass Effect 2. Yeah, there you go. It's one of mine, Joel. Mass Effect 2 is amazing. Maybe you want to read off Mojo Red?
Yeah, good old Mojo chiming in here. He's picking Elder Scrolls Online. We got some Rainbow Six Siege action going on.
Sick.
Yep.
you guys, you PlayStation guys, we're gonna be happy for this one of Spider-Man.
Fuck
Ooh,
yeah,
yeah.
that game's incredible, dude.
I played a little bit.
You gotta play
Talk
that,
more about it
Gunny.
next week.
Oh man,
I have it.
so good.
So I'll talk about it next week.
He's going with some more Forza Horizon, but he's doing Forza Horizon 4.
Ooh, you know what, Mojo? I'm sorry. Horizon 3. So I'm going with Marco on that one, Mojo.
And
it's your
last
list.
but last least, he has Sea of Thieves.
Of course he does. He's fucking British. He loves the Sea of Thieves. British.
Oh, I might.
Oh, am I? Oh, am I?
Everybody I jump on with,
British
you know?
accent.
He's not really British, but I'm always.
I know.
He sounds
Yep.
British to me when he speaks English. He has a British accent.
He's Welsh,
Yeah.
but he lives in France.
Lives in France, right? Yeah, did he say he moved back
I
to
don't know.
France?
You know what, Mojo? We're just giving you a hard time.
Mojo, we
love
know
you.
you moved back to France because I saw your Facebook status. You're like, I'm moving back to France. Oui, oui.
Mojo, I have to give my new Facebook name. So
I'm
look for that.
Mojo. I'm moving back to France.
I take the train under the water. Oh my god.
We're just
He's
giving
gonna
you shit.
unfriend-
We love our French listeners. Speaking of French listeners, fucking Ryan Gibson and his Canadian
Whoa.
ass. Oh, sorry.
French.
Oh, sorry, eh?
Poutine eating.
Poutine eating French speaking Ryan Gibson has his list. Of course, number one, people. No surprise here, eh? Oh, sorry, eh? Pinball FX3, of course. Stupid
Oh,
list.
I got the new tables to play.
Stupid list Ryan made here. Dead Cells, number 2.
That's a good game.
Diablo 3 at number 3. Borderlands 3 at number 4.
Ooh.
And God of War 2018, number 5.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised he put that up there as... Wow, that game, he must have really liked that game.
I want to know, Ryan, from you. I think I'll probably message you later. Why not Borderlands 2? What is it about 3 that's better than
Yeah,
Borderlands
bro.
2? I want to know.
Oh,
Not that I'm saying I'm not saying
sorry.
either way which one's better, but I want to know the difference.
Sorry, eh?
All right, so we've got the next one we got from Brendan Robb. And how many does... Oh, okay, so he's got 5 here. Starting off with The Witcher 3. A lot of Witcher 3 in here.
Witcher 3 is good.
That Blood and Wine DLC. My gosh, I'm afraid to play it. You know, I'll probably skip a couple days of work. GTA 5,
Great game.
Skyrim VR.
VR,
Brendan,
see? Told you, Gunny. Gotta get that
Yeah.
VR, bro.
man, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Stardew Valley. I never played Stardew Valley. It's downloaded on a couple different platforms.
Brandon
have
Robb,
played.
I like that list the most right now. Him and Mojo's.
That is a good list.
Mojo's list and his list are my two favorite lists right now. They're great lists. Best list, great list. The best.
You know, and I'm looking at so if we want to go, okay, we've got more.
Got more here. Mayo. Next Mayo. Go, Mayo.
Oh,
What do we got? Dirty Bite.
all right. We get to cover Dirty Bite. We got Christopher Dirty Bite Morris over here, and he has Halo ODST is number 1, and then right after it we have some Skyrim action going on again,
Nice.
and then some good old Fallout 76.
What?
in his top 3
What?
Chris? Are
Do
you
what
serious?
now?
of the
Are you
decade
serious
here.
right now?
The fuck?
Has he been talking to Eric?
He's been
Eric,
playing
like-
with fucking Eric.
Hey, Chris, put this on your list for me.
Shit.
Here's another one. It's Red Faction Guerrilla.
I like that game. That was probably my
That-
favorite.
that
this
was-
year.
That was a fun Red Faction game. The destructible environment was really cool. I remember playing the
That was
first one
probably
on
the
PC.
best Red Faction game. Let's be real here.
Hey guys, remember I talked about playing the remastered edition? It still felt pretty good. It didn't look the greatest, but you just feel like you connect with that hammer into somebody's face
Dope.
or some wall. You know, it's just it is a great game.
And last but not least, some good old XCOM 2 action.
There you go. I play that
Nice.
periodically on Xbox.
XCOM 2 is the shit. Anyways, moving on now to Miss Alyssa White, our friend
Alyssa.
Sean's lady friend. Hello, Alyssa. This is her list. She put at number 1, The Last of Us, which is a
Ellie.
fucking amazing game. Phenomenal game, dude. If you've never played The Last of Us, you're missing out on an amazing fucking game. The Witcher 3 at number 2, which is,
Of course.
toss a coin to your Witcher, people. Mass Effect 2 at number 3. Fucking
Alyssa, you're a
great
gamer.
game.
I can tell.
Oh, yeah, she is. She's a
Best
badass
games in
gamer.
there.
Look at that. These fucking games are all legit. Tomb Raider reboot. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah. And Skyrim at number 5. Dude, that list is the shit right there. That's like
That is a good list, Alyssa.
The last 5 games on Earth, if you had that list, you'd be set. You'd be set. You need more
There's
games.
some long games in that list too.
Yeah.
You know, The Witcher 3 and Mass Effect 2 is a long game. Skyrim.
Fuck yeah, you'd be set for life. The last 5 games ever. Just take those.
I think I would only change Tomb Raider if it was like if Alyssa said, "Here, take
Yeah.
my list."
And then
Not that I hated the
live
reboot
on
of
an
it.
island.
2016 was it? It was cool, but I think I equally enjoyed 16s and the current one.
Oh yeah, they're all good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
Next
so
one.
Bryce McDonald. Here's his list. First one, Skyrim, obviously. Resident Evil 2 remake.
Cool.
I need to finish that game. I'm right at the end. I need to get Eric to help me.
This would be really good if you put it on this top 10 of the decade. That's crazy.
Yeah. The Last of Us, obviously. Breath of the Wild. And BioShock Infinite. Yes, that's a
Dude,
great game.
BioShock is a fucking great game. People forget about
Wow.
that game. That game was
I think I've
good.
completed it twice. I went back and played that on the 360. 3 years after the Xbox One came out. I was like, no, I'm going to finish this game.
That game was really good, though. It
Played
was
it
awesome.
1080p.
All right, next one.
All right, we're gonna keep on moving on to good old our buddy Ghost Nico, my mech warrior buddy over here. All right, his number 1 is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Dope.
There's more big ones. The Witcher 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel responsible for this next one. Portal 2. I
Did
introduced
you
him
just
to
play that like
Portal
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, like I introduced it to him like a month and a half ago.
Because
Wow.
this game
He
of the
come back to me-
decade.
He comes back to me and he's like, I picked up MechWarrior 5 and I can't stop playing Portal 2. I'm like, sorry, dude. I told you it's a
That's
good
funny.
game.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, Portal 2 is
number 4 is BattleTech, which is the XCOM style mech type battle game. It's kind of in the MechWarrior universe.
You know, I've been talking to Ghost a little bit in the Discords, so I'll probably also include some of that BattleTech talk, since he knows a lot more about it.
Yeah, he
than I do.
loves BattleTech, yes. And him and I played together a little bit, so we talked about it before. And then this last one, number 5, is already MechWarrior 5.
Wow.
The game that just came out.
I know, right?
So a quick climb.
But he was playing the beta forever, I think. You think he was playing like in the alpha or some shit forever, like for months or like some shit like that?
Yeah, I think so.
He was playing forever. Anyways, next on the list here, Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom has 5 games on his list. Number 1 on his list, Witcher 3. Nice.
Yeah.
Skyrim. Mass Effect 2.
Yes.
Master of Orion. Never heard of that game. What is
I
Master?
think I've heard of the last one.
strategy game. It's a PC 4X strategy game.
Last on the list, Wing Commander Privateer.
I think, are those old EA games? The Wing Commander, or
They might be. I can't
might be an
remember.
early EA game. Yeah.
I think they were early EA.
But yeah.
Cool. Next one from Vetterholic is number 1 is Witcher 3. Number 2, Red Dead Redemption. So I don't know if he means the first one or second
Yeah,
one.
I'm assuming he means the first one.
Yeah. Number 3 is Dead Cells. Number 4, GTA 5.
Nice.
And number 5, God of War. Good list, Vetterholic. Let's see. That's all we have on our
Nice.
document. Any more we want to mention? Let me see. Oh, I saw one. Where is it at? Here it is. Let me just bring it up here.
Seen a lot of Skyrim. Seen a lot of Witcher 3 and a lot of Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
Some mainstays there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Skyrim, it's a big game. That game, I feel like that game was the first big game of the decade that we got that was like, holy shit, this is wild. This is crazy. You know what I mean? And I think that was probably the most successful Elder Scrolls game they've ever made. Whereas they got to the masses. Where I felt like the older ones were kind of like more like, it didn't get to the masses like Skyrim did. You know what I mean? I fucking know people that played Skyrim that never played any other fucking game in their life. You know what I mean? Look at a gamer grandma, like an 83-year-old lady playing Skyrim. You know what I mean? Like, that's how fucking like that game resonated with so many people. Like, that don't even game that much. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I have fond memories. Like, when I think of Skyrim, I always talk about Whiterun. Making mead, stealing mead, going to what is it, just north of Whiterun, where you go, kind of near the beginning, where you go to that. You go to this castle, and it's like this library.
Oh yeah. I know
right, and I think that just like blew me away.
Yeah,
like, oh my gosh, there's so much freaking lore here to read, and I started reading some of the books, and yeah, amazing.
In our list, Jesus, you'll be surprised to find that our buddy Jonathan Hall, Mr. Pinpoint Red, guess what his game of the decade is? He lists one.
I know, I saw that.
Let me guess,
Titanfall. I wasn't going to read it, John.
Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2.
Where's the Gears of War, John? You could have added one more.
He was probably baked out of his mind. Guys, best game ever made, Titanfall. Woo!
He's over there drinking his fermented
drinking his fucking
juice.
Kombucha, all fucking baked out of his mind. 3 a.m, sitting there meditating with this kombucha.
One game, man. One game. Titanfall 2. Can't think of any others.
He'd be the only person that put Titanfall 2 as his big game of the decade. Fucking Jonathan.
Another one I see surprising in the list is Daniel Taylor. His list, he has, I don't know if it's in order, but his first one is PlanetSide 2.
Wow.
Final Fantasy 14.
Damn.
Link's Awakening, the remake.
Yep.
This is the one that surprises me. Satisfactory. That one hasn't come up yet.
I watched a little bit of that today.
5. That's wild.
He said in no specific order.
That's a weird list. That's like a very different type list. Like it goes from like one spectrum to the other. You know what I mean? Like from fucking shooting people in GTA 5 to fucking, Satisfactory. It was just fucking building like lines of fucking barrels.
That's something I can get lost in. I was watching a buddy play it today.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I have some more things for you. So did we give out the new question for the week?
I put one out on the Facebook and in the Discord.
So what are the questions of the week?
All right. So our question of the week, and then let's go back to the upward word. It says, what will be your guys' gaming New Year's resolution be? So if you do resolutions or not, give us your gaming resolution for the year.
All right, there you go.
All right. And I also wanted to mention there were a lot more comments from people, so we just didn't go through the entire list, but we appreciate it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
We may use those also in the future, maybe next week.
I love the creativity and just everybody chiming in, getting a lot of members that don't really speak up in the group and stuff very often, and it's nice getting to hear from them. And
it's nice getting to hear from people, right? Like the group is big. There's a lot of people in there, but a lot of times we hear only questions from certain people, or it's nice to switch things around too, and not have to answer questions every week.
So this will give you a chance to have a voice and give us some of your answers, guys.
Yeah, I kind of miss, I'm looking for the questions here. I feel like we're missing a part of our normal show.
What do you mean?
I mean, as far as community questions, just something we've had from the norm, and I'm just like, okay, where is it on our document that I need to find to start asking questions? So it was kind of a nice change to actually go through and read people's list top 5 games of this generation.
Yeah.
Do you think Pinpoint's New Year's resolution is to beat HGP in some kind of event?
Finally beat us at something. Like, hey, I'm finally gonna beat them at something, these motherfuckers. Shit. Fucking. Yeah. Anyways, might be. I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, but real quick, I have some stats for you for this year, and we'll give you some stats here, Gunny.
All right.
So, I mean, 2019 was a big year for us. It was our fucking 5th year as a podcast. My 5th year, Mayo's 1st year, Gunny's, I don't know, how many years have you been with me, Gunny?
I want to say 3.
Yeah. So, Gunny's been here for a while, people. He's a new
I've been a
old
guest
host.
from the beginning. Well, not so much the very beginning, but
Yeah,
the first year I was on
definitely.
as a guest.
So yeah, we want to thank everyone out there that listens to us and everyone out there that supported us on Patreon. Anyways, give you some stats real quick. So I got Spotify stats real quick, Gunny. My year wrapped up in Spotify as a podcaster or as a podcast. We got our number one show on Spotify on 2019 that was listened to was show number 273 called Confused.
That was probably
kind of
me.
fucking title that is, but it's called
Yeah.
Confused.
Gunny's confused.
Number 2 episode listened to on Spotify was Podcast Warfare. That's number 280. And number 277 came in at number 3 at Spooktober. Was our
Oh, nice. Recent.
third most listened to episode of 2019 on Spotify. Since last year, we've done our hours of podcasting has increased by 619%.
Yeah,
Listeners
I would agree.
up by 32%, followers up by 215%, streams 192%. So that's how many more listeners we got this year on Spotify. I'm not sure when we got on Spotify, if it was this year or the year before. But it was sometime.
I think it was this year that we were.
I think it was this year also.
You were.
Early this year, right? So
Yeah.
anyways, from
A lot of more room to grow on
it
Spotify.
says here, from Argentina to Taiwan, we've connected with fans in over 25 countries. So 25 countries listen to us on Spotify. That's awesome. That's a cool stat there. And pretty much, we produced 51 episodes on Spotify this year. So that's like an episode a week, right? Just about. We missed last week. So yeah, 51 episodes and 9.2 thousand minutes of podcasting time. 9.2 thousand. So how many minutes is that? How many hours is that, Mayo?
How many thousand was it?
9.2?
Your calculator out here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of minutes. I was speaking to Jesus. We were talking earlier about, just how we're on weekly, but we missed last week, due to circumstances. But, I think it's just the amount of time that we put in, that we're mostly proud of,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Just the
So I
9,000
look at that.
minutes is 150 hours.
So we're a little over 150 hours of podcasting time you guys have listened to us last year, people. And that's just on Spotify. I mean, overall, in our main, podcast platform, Podbean or whatever, our host, we've got thousands of downloads last year, almost 40,000 downloads last year. That's how many listeners clicked play on our show last year. Big shout out to California, came in at number 1 state.
Yeah. West Coast, baby.
Listeners around the country.
San Diego.
But
Johnny.
hey, East Coast is doing it pretty big too. New York came in number 2 for the states listening to us last year. In Canada, I want to give a big shout out to our listeners out in Ontario. They came in at number 1. That's right. Number 1, motherfucker.
Right, Gibson out there representing.
And, in Australia,
Up there.
give a big shout out to our listeners out in New South Wales. You guys came in at number 1 in your region for listeners in Australia.
My heart goes out to those in Australia with
That's
the
right.
wildfires.
Crazy fucking fires out there. But yeah, overall around the world, of course, United States came in at number 1. Shout out to the United Kingdom. You guys came in at number 2 for listeners in the world. Canada came in at number 3. Australia number 4. The Netherlands number 5. So thank you all the people in the Netherlands listening to us. Looking at all these numbers, to you it might just be numbers or whatever, but to us it means a lot. It means that people are actually listening. and paying attention around the world. You know what I mean? That's a big deal. To me, it is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, same here.
it's cool to know that people actually listen around the world and that people give a fuck. You know, you guys download this every week. And whether you're a Patreon or not, we still appreciate you, you know. Just appreciate the Patreons just a little more. Right, Gunny? Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys so much. No, really,
Thank all you guys.
It's really, when I look at those numbers, you know, when I physically see those, and I think, yeah, people are actually listening to what we say.
That's right.
That's amazing. That's why we continue to do this show.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
No kidding. And as far as people on Stitcher, though, need you guys to finish our show more often. It says here that about half of you quit listening to our show about 50% of the way through. I don't know if it's because it's too long or what the fuck, but you guys need to listen to the show all the way through at once.
Remember to listen to the other half. Thank you.
Don't forget. Oh, yeah. But shout out to the Android people on Stitcher. You guys are 65% of the users there. 33% of you are iOS. And, but yeah, I mean...
We need more Apple listeners.
Apple is quite a bit, man. I mean, you'd be surprised. Every month on Apple, we get like minimum 200 hours listened to. So, like, I mean, last month it was the lowest one we had of the year. It was 283 hours listened to on Apple. But before that, in November, we had 419 hours of listening time. October, 478 hours, 331 in September. It's never like usually below 300. It's always above 300, 350s for listening time. So shout out to our people listening on Apple devices. You guys are fucking dedicated.
Yes, we love Apple because I'm an Apple
fan.
iPad, iOS lover
America,
who had that Android for like a month. Right, Mayo?
Shame on you.
Yeah. Shame on you.
I tried it. It was horrible. So I went back.
But yeah, so just thank you guys for last year. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being awesome people. Thank you for...
I'm joking.
Thank you for the Player FM people, dude. Player FM.
Yes.
Like, I'm surprised.
I haven't looked it up lately.
How many fucking people are on Player FM?
Somebody in the community had pointed it out, and I do like to go to Player FM every so often. And yeah, there's a way to look it up.
Yeah, there is.
Because it actually just goes right on there without logging in. Let's see. So if we go to the Horrible Gamers. Where are you, Horrible Gamers? There you are. There's Horribly Awkward right below it.
Nice.
Let's see. And so it shows 2,288 subscribers. Thank you very much for those that listen on Player FM. You know who you are.
Yeah, you guys are
We
dope.
appreciate you.
Yeah, we're like still one of the top 10 or top 11 shows on there, you know, for like discovered, you know, for video games.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So that's
We appreciate your feedback. If you have any, just come join us on our Facebook group or request to be put on the Discord. I know it's like a temporary link on the Discord. It's a little weird, but if you have Discord, you can get it on your phone, your iPad, your Google devices, on your laptops and your PCs.
We should have a permanent link on the show notes.
Does that work? Does a permanent link work?
Yeah.
It should set to not expire, so they shouldn't be.
Yeah,
Should be able to get right in the Discord.
I always put it in the show notes. I should have that one set to not expire.
Okay, so there is something that does exist. So yeah. Anyway, just reach out to us. We have an email.
But
we have a Twitter.
Thank you guys for listening. And yeah, man, like that's fucking wild to me that we got that many people on Player FM subscribed. That's a lot of fucking people. If you think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We get together every week and just somehow figure this shit out. It's quite a bit, you know, doing pretty good. I feel like. Shout out to Ryan for being on the show, sort of.
He'll be here next week. That's what he said. He said, "I'll be here next week." We look forward to it. What about Eric? Is he set up? Is he coming on? Who's coming on next week?
We got the Blaze Experience coming on next week as well as
Eric.
a special guest to argue with us. And yeah, special show, special Game of the Year show. This is it, people. Game of the Year next week. Make sure you fill out the surveys that I put out. I keep sharing it on our page on Facebook. I've shared it. I need to share it. We should share it on Twitter, Gunny. Click that link and share it on Twitter, that survey thing.
Yes.
On our page,
Sure.
on our Twitter account. Discord, we need to share it on there as well. But I've been sharing it like a lot on Facebook. Like every week I try to put it on there at least once or twice.
Yeah, keep refreshing it. Just reminds everybody to fill them out.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, people.
Where do we find you, Jesus?
Find me playing games on Xbox later this year. Jesus Rocks a lot.
Cool. That's where you find me. I'm on that Xbox.
No, not
under
Xbox.
Gunny Chief.
Ooh.
I'm an Xbot. I'm on that PlayStation HGP space underscore. I never forgot. HGP underscore Gunny. Sure.
Okay.
Oh man, the NyQuil's kicking in here, folks. Find me on the Steam machines, Gunny Chief.
All right.
On Epic, Gunny Chief. We'll play some World War Z on there. Where do we find you, Mayo?
All right, you're gonna find me as the Mayo 1 on Steam, Origin, Epic. You know, that new almighty Epic store. You know,
Yeah.
Where you buy all your new games now. Your
You're
Mech
gonna find
Warriors
me
and
much-
Fortnite and
Yeah. You can find me everywhere as the Mayo 1, except for in Discord. You're just gonna find me as the Mayo. So, come on over, say hi.
Nice. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, peace out, Brussels sprouts. We'll see you on the next edition of the Horrible Gamers Podcast. Next week, Game of the Year. It's here. We're done. Fucking Game of
We're doing
the
it.
Year, Gunny. Game of the motherfucking year. Yeah.
Post it on your calendars. Good night. Goodbye.
Goodbye, people. Bye.
Enjoy your commute. Back to school, kids.
Back to school.
Back to school.
Back to school, teachers. Come back